After the House rejected a short-term spending bill with 11 days left to avoid a government shutdown.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he'll be moving forward on a bill to avoid a shutdown today. Schumer has continued to call on House Speaker Mike Johnson to work with him to keep the government open.
The bottom line is very, very simple, and that is you need a bipartisan agreement to get things done.
Schumer, though, when pressed by Fox News, wouldn't say if he's spoken directly to Johnson. This after House GOP leadership's plan to extend funding for 6 months with an election security bill attached failed after pushback from both sides. Democrats would like to see an extension that doesn't go into next year.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz is at the Capitol. The House bill would have required proof of citizenship to vote in federal elections. The U.S. not giving up on efforts to reach a ceasefire in Gaza. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says it's still possible. Meeting with the French president in Paris, he's also calling for restraint in the Middle East and Lebanon in particular.
France and the United States believe strongly and are working together toward a diplomatic resolution and an agreement that would create the conditions for security that would allow people to return to their homes.
People on both sides of the Israel-Lebanon border have been displaced by months of clashes after the Hamas attacks on Israel. The leader of Hezbollah says Israelis won't be able to go home until the war in Gaza ends. The two sides trading ramped-up strikes today after 2 days of suspected Israeli attacks on Hezbollah electronics.
For the first time since those 2 rounds of explosions, the leader of Hezbollah, Hassan Nasrallah, spoke, and he said it could be a declaration of war. He said Israel crossed a red line.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv. The explosions killing at least 37 people, wounding some 3,000. A belated Fed rally on Wall Street. The Dow's up 521. America's listening to Fox News.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with DayQuil VapoCool. It's DayQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is DayQuil VapoCool.
DayQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
All is quiet going through our Thursday afternoon. Sunshine hanging around 90 degrees for a little bit. Then tonight, partly cloudy, 80s for evening plans. 69. Friday, a couple of spot morning showers. Otherwise, partly sunny, 92. The weekend, Saturday, partly sunny, couple of spot showers, 90 degrees. Little better chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday, and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. Fall will be here before you know it, and you probably haven't cleaned the house up properly from all the spills over the summer. So here's your opportunity in the month of September to get a great offer from my friends at Zero Res. Professional carpet cleaning. They can do the carpets, the tiles, rugs, upholstery. Every surface in your home can be Zero Resified. Here's the offer for the month of September. This is a great time to get the air ducts cleaned as well. But on the carpet side, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned starting at $129 when you mention my name or 97.1 FM Talk. On the air duct side, $75 off your air duct cleaning. That's one of the best offers of the year. That will help you alleviate allergies and asthma. Your home is just going to be cleaner, lower energy bills. It's a smart thing to do. So the month of September, make sure you mention my name. 3 rooms starting at $129, $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call 314-474-2020 or online, ZeroResSTL.com. You spell it backwards or forwards. It spells the same. Zero Res.
Experience the beauty of custom crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin. Proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Onder Law, we deliver big judgments for the little guy. Onder Law takes on the biggest industries and holds them accountable. Call today for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, and when it comes to the quality of your water, it is so important, not just for the taste, but for when you wash your clothes or even your hair or your skin, and bad water can affect all of your appliances. Call them today at 314-500-LEAK. That's Beast Plumbing.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Annie Fry Show. Appreciate you being with us. We are in our extra studio for one more day, and then I think tomorrow is the big day where at least our show gets to be back in there. I'm hoping that, is the Mark Cox Show going to be in there tomorrow morning?
Yeah, that's my understanding.
We were the guinea pig for this studio, so we're really looking forward to the Mark Cox Show being the guinea pig for the next show. So you're going to have to tune in tomorrow morning for sure to the Mark Cox Show and let us know how we're doing. I wanted to play this clip for you right off the top of the bat. I usually don't start with the YouTube live chat poll, but I just thought that this was a really interesting thing by Hillary Clinton that I wanted to test.
You do not have to do it, Kara. I'm going to just cut to the chase. In fact, she's put out policies on her campaign website. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's truly interested can go and read about them. She referenced policies. Mm-hmm. She actually doesn't just have policies and concepts. She has, plans about what to do. I think it's it's a double standard, and it's a double standard that is partly because they are still getting to know her, but also because they're still grappling with the idea like, oh, am I really going to vote for a woman to be president and commander-in-chief?
That's the problem, isn't it? She's the Democrat candidate. I don't know how to say this to Hillary, but these are your people who need to come up and support a woman. I'm going to ask the room here. Usually we save this for a little bit later in the show, but I want to start off the conversation here with this simple question, which could be really awkward in here. Would you vote for a woman for president? Yes or no? If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, you can vote and guys, this is the opportunity to really be heard and put women in their place. Ryan?
I love women. I'd vote for women all over the place.
For president, for commander of chief?
Yeah.
Are you, as Hillary Clinton says, grappling?
Oh, no. I'm with her. I would. In fact, I'll tell you the truth. If her values aligned with mine, I would have voted for her. It has nothing to do with her gender.
Same question for both of you, but Ryan, you first. Let's just say in a weird series of events, Nikki Haley got the nomination. It was Nikki Haley versus Joe Biden, or Nikki Haley versus the inevitable Kamala Harris. How are you casting your vote in November?
I'm voting for the person who closely aligns with my values, which would be, in that case, Nikki Haley.
And Nikki Haley, for the things that maybe some of us might be thinking, I don't really love that about her, or I don't love this about her. To what extent is Nikki Haley more preferable than Kamala Harris or Joe Biden?
I'm going to go with 100%, Annie. Where's the bell?
Lock it in.
Where's the bell?
We don't have. Oh, we do.
Yeah.
The bell made it over. I hope it makes it back. Brad, tough question. Would you vote for a woman for president? Yes or no?
That's not a tough question. That's an easy yes. They just have to be qualified and the best candidate for the job.
Rick says absolutely would support a qualified candidate for president, male or female, if we can figure out what a woman is. Isn't it weird that we have Hillary Clinton out here saying, like, people are really struggling with the idea of supporting a woman. Does she think, she wrote a book, it's called What Happened. I didn't read it. The only parts of the Hillary Clinton book, What Happened, that I read, that was from 2014 to 2016. I was sitting in wide-eyed on Sunday nights with the Mark Cox Show, which was a Sunday night show on the weekends here on 97.1. And that's how I got my start on air. And then, obviously, Hillary Clinton lost in 2016. And then sometime after that, she wrote that book called What Happened. And I think it was the best thing to ever happen to Mark Cox. Because there was an audio version of that book. And she read it.
Oh, no way.
And he just picked out some very specific. I mean, I guarantee you that he has those clips.
Oh yeah.
There is a one, and how do I say this? I guess just say it. That's just a quote. Hillary Clinton is telling the story, and Hillary Clinton is talking about about the debate, which I believe was the one here in St. Louis. Wasn't that the one where they were both standing up
with the mic?
And she's reading about Donald Trump, like following behind her, gripping the microphone extra hard. That's in the greatest hits of the Mark Cox Show. But I mean, in her What Happened book, in between Russia and all that stuff, was the fact that she was a woman.
No.
One of the main reasons why she's not the president right now?
No, I think it was her. I mean, it was her specifically. I think that blaming it on sexism or something like that was just cope on her behalf. People didn't like Hillary Clinton, but they would vote for a woman that they did like, that they did agree with, that they did trust. And I just think Americans didn't trust her, and they went with the unknown over the known quantity that was Hillary Clinton.
You know what's really funny? I can watch right now the subscriptions to the YouTube channel go up as the no's on the poll go up. So there are people who are subscribing. And it's funny, too, because you can tell, like, when there's somebody new, you can check out their profile when they created it. And it's usually today. Anywho, you have to subscribe.
I do want to add something to this conversation, and that is that I do think...
Can you explain it to me?
Yes, I can. I'm going to manspread here while I do it.
Mansplain!
No, manspread.
I don't want to put...
He's going to manspread while mansplaining.
Face that way.
Okay, I'm going to manspread, but I'll face the other way. Yeah. I do think that women are held to different standards than men. I think there is no doubt about that.
Is this sincere?
This is sincere.
Because that's true.
However, it's not just men holding women to different standards. It's women holding women to different standards. So it's not misogyny. It's
facts
just
and
different.
Facts.
Yes.
I do it myself, and I know that I'm doing it myself, and I know that it's unfair. And I say this as somebody, I don't know how much you guys really get the feedback for the show. Like, I don't know if you ever...
You're seeing it way more than we are.
I do, but I manage all of our show's social media. But as a female who consumes media, if I'm listening to the radio, I'm going to hear things in a woman's voice that a man would never pick up on just by virtue of being tapped into those types of things, or little ticks, or little things that they do, or that's another thing about the Kamala laugh. I do think that women are more likely to be annoyed by Kamala's laugh than men are. And I actually do think, this is just anecdotal, just my opinion. Go on to the Annie Fry Show and roast me in the comments on the YouTube channel. Just subscribe first. That women pick up on those things because they are acutely aware of their own idiosyncrasies that they either A, don't like about themselves, or have heard before about themselves in criticism, probably from other women. That it's problematic. But the way women laugh, the way women talk, I've talked on the air about how, like, the vocal fry. Oh my gosh, why are you even talking? Anybody, men or women, but women are much more apt to do that. When women present themselves in a strong, confident way, they start to pull all of that back, the vocal fry, the uptalk at the end, right? Don't say right. Just say what you mean. You don't need people to visually affirm that what you just said that they agree with, right? I can't.
Yes. Kamala does so much of that stuff.
Yes, that's the head bob.
She's been trained out of it for 2 months.
Do you know what the head bob is? The Kamala head bob?
Yeah, where when she's talking, she's affirming it as she's saying it.
She's just telling you that you agree with her.
Yes.
I never thought of it that way, but that is kind of what
People
she's doing.
don't like that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I said. It reminds me of like being in the principal's office because I have distinct memories of
Was your principal a woman?
Assistant principal, and they would say something.
Do you want to give her name and address?
No, absolutely not.
Tell us what you did wrong.
No.
It was 72 degrees.
Mine was mainly
attendance. It was a late October afternoon.
I was in attendance, constantly missing school and whatnot.
You missed school?
Oh,
a lot?
yeah. I hated going to school. So if
you just didn't?
If there was an excuse not to go,
And
I wouldn't go.
This is the woman's fault?
No.
That's what I'm gathering.
No. I was there.
Yeah.
I was there for a very important reason, right to be in trouble. But when they would talk to me, when she would talk to me, she would do that whole thing, that head bob thing.
But you were a child.
Yes.
Different.
Yes. And
you are now a voter, and she wants to be your president.
That's why it bothers me now.
Yeah.
And it's like, no. I'm an adult. Make your case. Don't state your facts.
Kamala.
Yes. Make your case
Brian,
to me.
There's a part of me that thinks that Kid Brad was saying to the principal, you need to make your case.
Kid Brad was sitting there going, this lady is demeaning me right now. I'd rather talk to the truancy officer than this lady.
Go get. Is there a man I could speak to?
I need to have this conversation man to man. You know what I mean?
But there are more.
For the record, that Brad's not sexist at all.
The stuff that Kamala was doing, and again, she's been trained out of most of it. She knows she's got to get through 2 months. But she was still doing at the debate the thing where she leans her hand under her chin and was like, okay.
Oh, man.
And I'll tell you what, I heard more women criticize that than I did men.
But this is the thing. It's not simply that she's doing these things. She's doing them in place of policy, leadership, and principles. Like it's supposed to be enough. And then, oh man, I want to say bad words. Bologna sausage. Hillary Clinton here is telling us that the reason why people don't want to support her is just because she's a woman. No, put up. Do something. Show us how you are talking to the American people in a way that shows us that you understand the American people. Tell us how you understand that. I mean, my husband and I were just talking about this. We are trying to figure out where our money is going. Because we had, for a while, really been working up on a good savings account, and it's just we're not capable of doing it the way we did before, and we're busting our butts and we're working hard. I told him, I said, maybe we're sending our kid to a Lutheran high school now, so we have two different schools, and I would live on the street myself before I would take my kids out of those Lutheran schools. But just trying to make sure that we plan ahead, we try to make our payments ahead of time so that we don't get behind on the things that matter. And if we run out of money before the end of the week, then we know we got to pull back or whatever. But we make a solid income for our family. And this is not the case for everybody who's going to go vote right now. And when you're listening to Kamala Harris speak, like she's filling time. You remember writing those research papers? All you needed to know was the length of the paper, and you filled the pages.
I had a phrase I would use every single time, and I would end multiple sentences with "in its own inherent right," because you couldn't question. Like it sounds smart, but it means nothing, and it pads words.
I'm gonna make it
in its own inherent right.
In its own.
Yeah, try it at the end of any sentence.
Inherent right.
Would you vote for a woman for president in her own inherent right? Makes no sense. But it sounds smart.
But it's longer.
Yeah, it's
probably
longer.
Twice as long. Yeah. Oh, man. YouTube live chat poll for today. We need to hear from you. Would you vote for a woman for president? Because you've got Hillary Clinton out here. And this is the thing about this that really, really irks me is that the presentation of, some people just aren't ready for a female commander-in-chief. You need Democrats to show up to vote for Kamala Harris. So if your accusation is that there aren't enough people willing to show up to vote for Kamala Harris to put her over the top of Donald Trump, that's a Democrat problem. That's on them. In my opinion, I got no problem voting for a woman should she be the right one, in her own inherent right.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you tomorrow.
All right. The segment qualifies to close. Do I have a second? Go vote on the Annie Fry YouTube channel and let us know if you would vote for a woman president, yes or no. And don't forget to leave us a comment and tell us why you voted the way you did. Katie said, yes, I would vote for a woman for president if she stands for my values and freedom. Gender does not make a difference. And I'm as old-fashioned as you can get. Yeah, Katie. We'll be right back.
Some more of these my TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age again? What's my age again?
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You find them online at igotfloored.com. Shopping for flooring is fun. The transformation that you're going to make in your home with that new flooring is going to be dramatic. So make sure that you go online to igotfloored.com and start that process right now. You can request an estimate from the website. So you don't even have to make it into one of their 3 locations across the St. Louis area to get that process started. But I'd encourage you to, because the displays that they have at Michael's Flooring Outlet are really going to help you make an educated decision that you're going to trust. Your time spent with the customer sales staff there, they're going to be able to walk you through the different options you have to achieve any particular look that you're trying to acquire. If you're looking into carpet, they're going to show you the different brands, the Mohawk Smart Strand brand. They're going to be able to show it to you, let you feel it with your feet over the top of different kinds of padding so you know what your investment is buying you. Michael's Flooring Outlet will walk you through the whole process, and you will be best served in quality and value and customer service when you choose to stop by. Go online to igotfloored.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-699-1059. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-699-1059. That's 800-699-1059.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Jewels on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jewels on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jewels on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jewels on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jewels on Hampton.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I'm packed and I'm holding, I'm smiling, she living, she golden, she lives for me. Says she lives for me, ovation, who won't motivation. She comes round and she goes down on me, and I make it smile like a drug for you. Do ever what you want to do.
When I told some people in Washington, yeah, I'm going up to New York, we're doing a campaign speech. They said, what do you mean New York? You can't ever, nobody can win. Republicans can't win. I said, I can win New York and we can win New York. We're going to win New York. And if you vote for me, I'm going to reduce your taxes, reduce your crime, and reduce your levels of stress, because you have a lot of stress. The only thing that I will increase are your incomes, and your love for your state will come roaring back again.
So Donald Trump in New York yesterday, a lot of people questioning why he took the time to be in New York. And if you didn't get to see him on Gutfeld yesterday, it is must-watch television. He's back in action after a second attempt on his life, and we are very grateful to have the Trump 2024 National Press Secretary, Karoline Leavitt, with us right now. Karoline, thank you for being with us today. It's good to have you back.
Thanks for having me. Good to be with you.
You bet. I want to ask you about the campaign and how the campaign functions under this duress. This 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life. There's no reason to think that there won't be more in the 7 days that are left. How do you campaign for president knowing that there are people who want Donald Trump dead?
Yeah, well, it's a very harsh reality, and it's unfortunate we live in a country, in a moment in time where this is the reality for President Trump. And it's sad to say that the violence that has taken place is a result of the rhetoric, the inflammatory rhetoric that has been used against President Trump now, the culmination of 8 years, the Democrats calling him a threat to democracy, a wannabe dictator. Both of those things are lies, and the Democrats know they're lies. They can't win this election on the issues that matter to voters at home, so they've been espousing these lies about President Trump, and it has led to real violence. The shooter on Sunday echoed some of that same rhetoric on his own social media, and it's a scary time. We are very grateful to the protective detail around President Trump on the United States Secret Service that has acted swiftly and courageously in both of these instances. But, you know, our whole entire campaign has had to take additional measures to not only protect President Trump, but our staff. And it's just, again, it's a sad reality in the moment we live in.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, he's made this comment multiple times since this past weekend about how it's like makes it even more important for him. His resolve is hardened as to why he's doing what he's doing. And the purpose behind victory is even more clear now. We're speaking with Karoline Leavitt, the Trump 2024 National Press Secretary. Talk to me about the decision to make an appearance in New York. That was a packed crowd. That was a rowdy crowd. The people in that stadium, they loved Donald Trump, and I haven't seen the videos suggesting that Donald Trump was bussing those people in like I've seen people being bussed into the Kamala Harris events.
Well, people can say a lot about President Trump's rallies. One thing you can't say is that he has to bus in supporters from other states. Everywhere this man goes, he packs the house with residents who are so excited that he's going to their town. In this case, it was Uniondale, New York on Long Island. And President Trump loves New York, as you heard him talk about last night. It's his home state. I mean, his fingerprints are literally on the skyline of New York City. He built the city into the place that it is today over his decades-long career as a real estate and businessman. And it's his home. And he's saddened to see what has happened to New York, especially New York City, because of Democrat policies. And he talked a lot last night about the quality of life issues that New Yorkers are facing and promised them that he's going to make not only this country, but New York affordable again, safe again. He's going to restore law and order in our cities and our communities. He's going to cut taxes for the people of New York. Last night, he pledged, he reiterated his pledge to end taxes on overtime, end taxes on tips for service workers, which we know there are a lot of in New York. And he also announced a new policy to temporarily cap interest rates on credit cards at 10%. So we know that credit card debt in this country is at an all-time high because of the inflation caused by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. So that will provide some temporary relief for New Yorkers and all Americans. So it was a great speech last night. Anyone who didn't tune in, I'd encourage them to go to our social media and check out some of the clips, because President Trump was on fire and really fired up by the energy that was in the room. We packed the house. 60,000 people signed up for tickets last night. Unfortunately, only 16,000 were allowed in the venue, but it was an amazing night.
Is it the campaign's position that New York is in play?
It is. You heard President Trump say it last night. Absolutely. He believes he can win New York. And when you look at the data, I mean, he's closing the gap in New York greater than any Republican ever has. So it's certainly possible, I think, more than ever. And we are continuing to go on offense in these traditionally blue states, such as New York and New Jersey, Minnesota, Virginia. These are states that haven't been won by a Republican in a very long time. But in many of them, President Trump is coming close. And in some, he's even winning in certain polls.
Yeah. Well, I live across the river here in St. Louis, in Illinois. When I see you guys showing up there, I'm going to know something is really afoot. But I'm your girl if that ends up happening to be the case. I want to talk to you about the Teamsters president, Sean O'Brien, and this comment
Well,
here.
listen, we interviewed both candidates, and we were seeking commitments from both candidates, and we couldn't get solid commitments on our core issues like the PRO Act, like vetoing national right to work, like staying out of labor disputes and not trying to force any contracts on us, like what happened to our brothers and sisters in the rail industry. We didn't get solid commitments from either candidate, which was a major factor in our decision as a General Executive Board not to endorse any candidate.
The Teamsters did not endorse the Democrat, as they're traditionally apt to do. They also didn't endorse Donald Trump, but it turns out Donald Trump has quite the majority of support with the members of the Teamsters Union. What does the campaign make of that pretty impactful announcement yesterday?
This is a huge win for President Trump, a huge loss for Kamala Harris. This is the first time in decades that the Teamsters chose not to endorse the Democrat candidate, just proving that Kamala Harris is a train wreck when it comes to our economy and when it comes to fighting for the American worker. She has made the lives of American workers, these forgotten men and women of this country who are the backbone of this country, she's made their lives more difficult. And they remember when President Trump was in office, he stood up for the American worker. He negotiated good trade deals around the world to increase their pay and to keep their jobs here at home. He fought for them in terms of bringing down the cost of living in this country, cutting their taxes too, putting more money back into their pocketbooks. You have to remember, President Trump, again, is a real estate man. And in New York, he dealt with the unions for years. I've heard him personally tell stories about his work with the unions. And he talked about it last night in New York as well. The concrete guys, the concrete unions who, helped him build many of the buildings that exist in the New York skyline today. So he has a long history with unions. He understands the workers. And, the leadership at these unions has been entrenched in Democrat politics for decades. But what really matters is the support of the millions of working men and women who comprise these unions. And as the poll showed yesterday, they overwhelmingly support President Trump. And we are grateful for that support. President Trump will continue to fight for them, stand up for them, and speak on their behalf.
We're speaking with Karoline Leavitt. She's the Trump 2024 National Press Secretary. Encourage you to go to donaldjtrump.com for more information. I want to ask you, we've talked a lot about President Trump, and we know what President Trump has to offer. We've lived it before. We have a pretty good idea of what Kamala Harris at least is okay with, because she's the vice president of the United States, and she has signed on to serve at the pleasure of the president, as they say, as the vice president for Joe Biden. So it's very hard to detach Kamala Harris, the candidate, from Kamala Harris, the vice president, responsible for the last 3 years, 8 months of inflation, economic turmoil, border policy abdication. These are her policies. She gets in front of a few microphones, a few cameras here more lately, and when asked questions, she says absolutely nothing. And my estimation with my listeners is that people are starting to grow frustrated with her unwillingness to commit to making an actual point. And I'm wondering if you think that is the way that she's going to carry out the rest of this campaign. What do you think of Kamala Harris's job as a candidate so far for president?
Well, absolutely. I mean, look, President Trump knows where he stands on the issues. He has conviction, and he has a real clear plan to solve the challenges Americans are facing. Kamala Harris is the complete opposite. She is something that she is not something that President Trump is, and that's authentic. Kamala Harris is a phony politician. If you've noticed, the debate and the last two interviews she has given, she has been asked, how are you going to fix the economy? And she recites the same talking points that were given to her advisors about how she grew up in a middle-class family. Okay, many of us did. Millions of Americans grew up in middle-class families. That doesn't mean you're equipped to fix the very real, large economic problems this country is facing. She cannot explain how she's going to fix inflation. She flip-flops on issues like fracking, for instance. And look, she's long supported a ban on fracking. The only reason she does it now is because it's a death sentence to winning Pennsylvania, and her advisors know it, so they've told her to flip the script. But as soon as Kamala Harris is in office, on day one, she will implement her long-promised ban on fracking. So people need to look at her record, and her record is one of the most liberal records this country has ever seen. She's supported defunding the police. She's voted to raise taxes on the American people repeatedly. She's voted for radical environmental bills like the Green New Scam that have created a wacky electric vehicle mandate that is going to kill our auto industry. So, look, she is a dangerous liberal. Her record proves it. She's doing what politicians do, and she's lying to get elected, and she'll go right back to her very liberal ways as soon as she is in office. I mean, look at what she's done over the past 4 years. It tells you all you need to know. She's been vice president. She's overseen the border crisis, the inflation crisis. Those problems are her problems. She helped create them. She cannot be trusted to solve them now.
Yeah, those are just the facts. I mean, people may not like to hear that, but those are just legitimately the facts. Karoline Leavitt with us right now, the Trump 2024 National Press Secretary. I've got a list here that I was just jotting down. Putin, Dick Cheney, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, among other people. And now we find out that Iran, when they tried to swipe emails from the Trump campaign, wanted to, hand them over to the Harris Walls campaign to see how they could help them out. If you were on the left 15 or 20 years ago, and you heard these people were endorsing a candidate, it would be like the priority reason not to support that candidate. But now the Democrats they're real excited for the candidate of Putin and Iran and the Cheneys and Adam Kinzinger. What do you make of some of this strange company of people who are saying, Kamala Harris, she's your girl?
It's absurd that someone who believes they're a conservative or says they're a conservative like Liz Cheney or Adam Kinzinger could vote for such a radical liberal like Kamala Harris, who, by the way, yesterday was caught on video. Our campaign pushed it out, saying previously that she wants to go into the homes of law-abiding gun owners and take their guns. Those are her words, not mine. Go look it up. It is crazy. I mean, Kamala Harris is anti-Second Amendment, anti-free speech, anti-Israel. She, mocks the Constitution. She has, again, supported some of the worst policies this country has ever seen. Medicare for all. She wants to take people off of their private health insurance. I mean, she is as liberal as one can get. So anyone who considers themselves not even just conservative, President Trump says this all the time, it's more about common sense. If you want common sense, if you want to have law and order, not to defund the police, but to support them, if you want to have a secure border and a legal immigration system, not an illegal immigration invasion, there's only one option on the ballot, and it is President Trump. And by the way, you're right to say Putin is supporting Kamala Harris. She has essentially endorsed her in this election because he knows that with her, he can continue to get away with this invasion in Ukraine, continue to rip off the United States, and he can continue to cozy up to China, which is something that neither China nor Russia were allowed to do when President Trump was in the Oval Office.
Karoline Leavitt, last question for you. Do you feel confident about a Donald Trump victory? Is there still work to be done by the people listening to this show right now and taking in this podcast that they can help get him across the too big to rig finish line?
Well, look, there is always more work that needs to be done, and we're calling on everyone who supports President Trump and wants to see him get elected to help us out. You can go to donaldjtrump.com to sign up to volunteer. We need people in this final stretch to help us get out the vote, and also go to swampthevoteusa.com. That is our website for voter turnout and registration and to get people out to the polls. So we would greatly appreciate everyone going on and chipping in, and we need all the help we can get. Look, we're ahead in many of these polls. We feel very good about the race. President Trump definitely has the momentum, but we're not going to take anything for granted, and it's going to be a tight race. We've always said that. So all hands on deck. We got 47 days, and let me tell you, President Trump, our team, we are working around the clock every day. We don't stop working. It's a 24/7 job here on out.
Karoline, we really appreciate your time, and I'm encouraging everybody listening right now. There is something you can do with your feet, with your wallet, with your phone, with your voice. Go to donaldjtrump.com. Karoline Leavitt, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Take care.
Yes, you as well, and good luck to you on the campaign. Let's take a quick break here. The YouTube live chat poll for today. Would you vote for a woman for president? I think I'd vote for her. I'm okay with that. And yeah, we're going to play that clip a little bit later in the show of Kamala Harris. She talks about the sanctity of your home. And when she was the Attorney General of California, she had something to say about the sanctity of your home. We'll play that for you later in the show. 105. If everything goes according to plan, Tyrus is going to be on with us. And yesterday, Tyrus gave up his chair on Gutfeld to whom? Donald Trump. And he sat right next to him. I can't wait to have that conversation at 105. Wiggins America, next. Don't go away.
The sky was gold, it was rose. I was taking sips of it to my nose, and I wish I could get back there, someplace back there, smiling in the pictures you would take. To a climb, it'll lift you up until you break. It won't stop. I won't come down and keep stop with the tick-tock rhythm. I bumped for the drop and then I bumped up. I took the hit that I was given, then I bumped again, then I bumped again. Said, how do I get back?
Stuart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan, man. This is the guy you need to know. He's going to be in here also in about less than an hour, and we're going to talk to him about what the Fed did. So if you've got questions for Stewie, Brad and Ryan, check out those on the YouTube comments and star some of those comments if they come through. If people are wondering what that Fed rate cut means, we're going to get all the details from him at about 1:25. So keep it right here on the Annie Fry Show to find out, because what was it, 50 points that they cut it or whatever? That's a pretty big cut, bigger than anticipated. So if you are looking to refinance your mortgage, Stewie's your guy. And closing costs are zero with the Bagel Loan, which is only at Stuart's American Mortgage. In order to get in contact with Stewie and to start the conversation about making sure that you have the best situation for your mortgage, here's the number you need to call or text: 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. Refinance that high mortgage rate that you have and don't pay anything to close that new loan. You could even shave off years of the loan, potentially keep your payment the same, and save with years less on that mortgage. I don't know what the best situation is for you, but Stewie does. And he's a phone call or a text message away. 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
During Renewal by Anderson's BOGO Bonanza, buy one, get one 50% off all windows, patio doors, and entry doors when you buy 4 or more, and pay nothing for 18 months. Call by September 30th, 314-720-9200.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 55 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com. 12 amazing children, one special evening. The Night of Rock Stars is September 27th, giving special needs kids a celebrity treatment they'll never forget. Join us for this month's Conservatives Care, The Night of Rock Stars, by visiting 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
This is a man's world. This is a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing without a woman or a girl. You see,
Man made the cars to take us over the road. Man made the train to carry the heavy load.
Not about mortality, but I do think more about God because, okay, Butler was really the greatest of all miracles. If I'm not looking over there, and I mean a full turn, exactly 90 degrees, I wouldn't be here right now, and your ratings would be a little bit lower, perhaps.
Yeah. We'd have Kilmeade there.
We have to tell the story of how we first met. The ratings over. Remember that one week he just played that thing, but I do think about that because the chart. It was basically an immigration chart. We had our lowest numbers that we've ever had in immigration, and I very rarely use it, maybe 15, 20%. It's always on my left, and it's always at the end of a speech. So now I said, bring down the chart right at the very beginning, almost like the first sentence of the speech. Bring down that chart because immigration is such a big thing now with, our country being basically taken over by Venezuela and lots of other people. So I said, bring down the chart, and the chart drops down, and I go, look at those numbers, and I look over to the right, and ping, and that was not, I knew something was definitely wrong.
So there's Donald Trump last night in studio on Gutfeld, and it was such a great episode of that show. If you've never watched Gutfeld before last night, that's the episode you got to go find and you got to watch. But he said Gutfeld asked him if he thinks about his mortality, and he said, no, but I do think about God more. And I found that to be an interesting reaction. I've heard him say that before, but he talked a little bit more in length on that. We anticipate speaking with Tyrus in about 15 minutes from now, 20 minutes from now. So you're going to want to keep it right here. We might even connect to him on video this time on the live stream. We're going to try to make that happen. So stick around for that. The YouTube live chat poll, would you vote for a woman for president, yes or no? We were watching as your comments are rolling in here. And Helen said, I would vote for a woman as president if she was the most qualified in line, my values. Men tend to be a little less emotionally based, and that can offer a more level head during tumultuous times. I've seen a couple of comments about that. People who are making the point that women tend to be more emotional. I think that you can have emotional men, and I think you can have less emotional women. But I also think that if you have a preference, man or woman, don't you think that there are some liberals out there who would prefer a woman?
Yeah. Yeah, I would think so. That's a selling point. They're trying to make that front and center of even this campaign.
But I mean, they would say if you went and asked, if you went to a Kamala Harris rally and you went up and said to a voter there, a rally goer there, would you prefer, what's your preference for president? Would you prefer a woman or would you prefer a man? I think a lot of them would be willing to answer that question. Don't you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Can you say that you prefer a man?
No.
I don't know that you can.
That's the point.
Maybe as a Republican you can. As a Democrat, you definitely cannot.
I think as a Republican you can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a context where that would work. Most it would not. Yeah, I think you're right.
But I think you can say that you would prefer a woman.
Yeah.
For sure.
Which I find kind of odd and interesting. There are people who are going to say that women think about things, maybe handle more things at once better. I think women are better multitaskers. I don't think that that's, if you're just talking men and women, not like free world management, but like in your own households that you've grown up, when you were managing your household, how much of the house was managed by the woman and how much was managed by the man. I definitely don't think that women are inferior in any way, shape, or form, but you obviously have different skills. And I find it interesting that you could go out and vocalize to somebody with confidence and actual pride to say, no, I think I would prefer a woman be the president. But if you went to a Trump rally and you asked a rally goer there, would you prefer a man or a woman to be president? If they said man, you'd be all over Rachel Maddow that night,
Okay.
Joy Reid, blah, blah, blah.
I think there are Daily Show or some videos like that out there during the primary of this presidential election where people were asking, like they were going deliberately to Republican areas and conventions and things and asking people, would you prefer Nikki Haley or Donald Trump? And is it because she's a woman? And almost exclusively, everybody was like, no, it has nothing to do with it. But anybody who would even hesitate to answer that question in the affirmative, they would air it. And they would like zoom in. I mean, they would make a big deal out of look at these misogynists. So I think you're right. I don't think you can say it like in civil society.
You can't go be like, no, I totally prefer a man. They're way more level-headed, less emotional. You can't do that.
No.
But not everybody. A lot of people will be thinking it. And I don't know that it's so. I don't know that it's the worst.
Wiggins!
Wiggins! It's just your preference, you know. Like everybody gets to have their preference, and I'm not mad at people who would say they prefer a woman.
I'm here to help you right before we hit the top of the hour. Execute the perfect nap.
Can we do that at like 3?
No, you have to do it now.
No.
You have to store this information for when you're ready to go to sleep. Are you a napper?
It sounds lovely.
It does.
Yeah.
But do you execute the nap?
I can nap.
You can nap.
Well, I just get to do it so infrequently.
Okay.
But yesterday was a good example. I didn't have anything to do. Wednesdays are kind of off days for extracurriculars and stuff. And I went home and I was flipping through things to watch, but the kids needed to do homework and Jared needed to do stuff. So I put on a fall scene on YouTube that plays this like nice kind of jazz music in the background. And it's just leaves falling on a cabin in the woods. And man, I was gone.
Oh man. I'm going to start with this one then.
Okay.
There are ways to execute the perfect nap, Brad and Andy. One of them is to set the scene for sleep.
That has to happen.
So you've got that. Once you've decided on a good time for a nap, you'll want to settle your body into a rest. Falling asleep midday when the sun is shining can admittedly be challenging, but not impossible.
Cool and dark.
You got it. Set the scene. And one of those kind of like screensaver things, they do help. It's in the winter, it's a fire on the TV or whatever, maybe sometimes a snow scene that helps. The next one, don't nap too late in the day.
I would agree with that one because but
that's not a problem with napping. That's a problem with falling asleep later.
Yeah, I was gonna say you nap, but then you wake up and then you're up till 2:33, 4 o'clock in the morning.
But you don't want to have consequences to your nap, so that would not be executing
you want
the perfect
consequences.
nap.
You just don't want bad consequences.
I feel like you're talking. Will you bob your head when you're saying this?
I will in the future, though.
Super patronized.
I'll
just
do
like
it.
Kamala.
I'll do it with this one.
Okay,
Annie, don't force it.
He's really good at that.
Thank you very much.
A flashback.
This is the best one of the whole list, I think. It says, just because you feel tired doesn't mean you'll actually be able to fall asleep. And that's okay.
Rest.
Approaching a nap with a goal to rest is more helpful than putting yourself under pressure to actually sleep.
I would almost rather be in that place in between napping and being completely lucid and engaged. That is super restful in the middle of the day.
Yes, it is. And that is one that I have a hard time with because I'll find myself going, I got a few minutes here. I'd love to get a little REM in, and I can't. Even losing my religion, I could listen to whatever.
It's never good to lose your religion.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't really love, but I'd listen to it just to get some in. Keep naps short and sweet. So don't go past 20 to 30 minutes.
That's a REM cycle.
Yes, it is. Don't go past 20 to 30 minutes because if you do, you're really going into a bigger sleep than you really need. It's beyond napping at that point, and you are going to affect the rest. Yeah, says that article. Do you find yourself able to sleep longer than 20 to 30 minutes?
There are times where a Sunday afternoon nap, if that is a possibility, there are times where I will come home from church and fall asleep at like noon, maybe. And I'll wake up at 4.
I know, I do the same thing.
It's the best. And at 4, I'm like, gosh, I could just keep sleeping, but I should probably get up so that I just relocate down to the couch with the kids.
I don't know if I could do noon to 4. I think about 2 hours is where I max out. 2.5 hours maybe.
It just depends on the week that leads up to it, the weekend that you had.
Yeah. Be consistent. Some of us just need an occasional nap on days we're feeling especially sluggish, relaxing on vacation, or recovering from a bad night's sleep. But if you're a frequent napper, experts advise making a routine around it. So it's helpful to have your brain on a schedule for napping rather than just grabbing sleep whenever you can.
This just doesn't really fit in the lifestyle that I have right now.
Me either.
Like that. Nothing about my schedule, really, other than about 11 to 3 is mine.
My and maybe this applies to you if you're listening and you're retired. My mother-in-law is retired. She lives near us, so we kind of know her schedule based on when she could pick up the kids if we ever need her, things like that. She has a nap schedule that is to be envied. I mean, it is every day at about 1:30. She's out for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then she's back up.
What time does she wake up?
I'm going to say 9-ish, kind of late. She stays up late, and then she naps a little bit in the day.
Up?
I'm going to say 1 o'clock.
Well, that's like my retirement plan.
Isn't that nice?
I want that.
I do, too. That was college for me, and now it's not at all. I have to wake up at
I don't know if
7.
this is an indictment on this segment, but Squirrels for Trump on YouTube says a nap right now sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is. I apologize.
About you.
Just keep it here for another couple minutes, and we'll get back to those fun commercials that you love.
Yeah. Hey, we're feeding our family.
Wake back up with a post-nap routine.
Oh, gosh.
Just as waking up in the mornings feels easier when you're getting immediate sunlight, showering, exercising, or whatever you do, this should apply to your nap as well. Have a post-nap routine.
You know what? Like, when I have officially made it and I'm just like spending money on things it's just fun, I will have remote control curtains.
Oh.
Because if you're laying in bed and you know it's time to get up and you could open the curtains and let the sun come pouring in without having to get up to do it, if that's not first world, I don't know what it is. And I said that's when I will have officially made it. I do not have this in my house right now. I don't know that I ever will. But just the thought of being able to open your curtains to let the sun in without having to move or set them at a timer, like what an alarm system that would be. You can get lights that you sit next to your bed that emit sunlight at any amount of time to help reset. Is it your circadian rhythm?
That sounds right.
Is that a thing, or is that like a locust?
No,
cycle.
That's a circadian rhythm.
Oh. Just checking.
It's every 13 years.
Yeah. I don't want to do the wrong one.
Right. Last one.
Maybe
Make
that's
sure.
what I've been doing this whole time.
Yeah,
I got the dang locust thing going on.
Yeah, you just wrote it down wrong.
Yeah.
Be sure to practice circadian rhythm. Oh shoot, I just wrote it wrong.
This is supposed to be my year. I screwed this up so big.
The last one, make sure you're also focusing on getting a good night's sleep. I don't know how that applies to your naps, but I guess it does. Getting a good night's sleep will help you nap better,
I'm going to take that article from you and research it, get back to it in about 20 years.
How about we all take a nap for about 5 minutes?
If you laid down on the floor right here and it was quiet for 20 minutes, would you fall asleep?
Yes.
Brad, would you?
No.
No.
I could fall asleep in the dentist chair.
Sarah, wake up. Your appointment is over. Tyrus, next.
Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
The Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw Retirement Advisory Group event is coming up soon. And I want to make sure that you figure out how to get yourself to this event. It's worth it. It's Tuesday, October 1st. The event officially starts at 6:30 at the Frontenac Hilton, but I'm there from 6 to 6:30. Getting ready to meet you. I'm so excited for the opportunity to be able to sit down or shake hands and get to know you a little bit, and everybody else that shows up. You just got to get your spot reserved. Mark Cox and Mark Reardon will be there as well, and we try to meet each and every one of you between 6 and 6:30. And then at 6:30, you get a free sit down in this room with Thomas Helbig and Bob and Tammy Kershaw as they tell you how to protect your retirement. It doesn't cost you anything. I think it takes like 45 minutes or so. You'll be out of there with your evening still ahead of you. It doesn't suck up a lot of your time. There are also snacks. You need to reserve your spot, though. Frontenac Hilton, Tuesday, October 1st. The event begins at 6:30, but get there around 6, and I would love the opportunity to meet you. 314-993-9494 at retirementkey.com.
When Greg Hammonds at GregHammonds.com talks to people about health insurance, they tell him, 1, my premiums are too much.
Number 2, my deductible is so high I never meet it. And 3, my doctor doesn't accept my plan anymore. Greg offers private health insurance plans that are not on the ACA marketplace. You can pick your doctors. For most claims, you won't even pay a deductible, and they're 30 to 60% lower cost than Obamacare. One more thing, there's no tax penalty at the end of the year. Greg even has plans that are guaranteed acceptance and available all year long, so you can enroll today. If you pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Greg at 314-794-7784. That's 314-794-7784. Or go to greghammonds.com. That's greghammonds.com. He can custom design a plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Nation of progress. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's how President Biden describes the Fed decision to start lowering interest rates after a long fight with inflation.
No one should confuse why I'm here. I'm not here to take a victory lap.
Speaking at the Economic Club of Washington, D.C.
At its peak, as you all know, inflation was 9.1% in the United States. Today, it is much closer to 2%. That doesn't mean our work is done. Far from it. Far from it.
The president says we've entered a new phase of recovery, adding that his administration inherited the worst pandemic in a century. Former President Trump has argued much of the recovery has been a normal bounce back from the pandemic and that Biden policies spiked inflation. He has meetings with Jewish leaders today, focusing in part on a rise in anti-Semitism, while Vice President Kamala Harris has a live stream event with Oprah in Detroit. The leader of Hezbollah says Israel crossed a red line after 2 days of deadly device explosions targeting members of the militant group in Lebanon.
He actually ordered Hezbollah fighters to use pagers and walkie-talkies instead of smartphones because he feared that Israel could track them.
Fox's Nate Foy in Tel Aviv. Hezbollah vowing to continue daily strikes on Israel, firing more rockets today as the Israeli military launched airstrikes in Lebanon. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky will travel to Washington next Thursday and hold separate meetings with President Biden and Vice President Harris.
The White House says the leaders will discuss the state of the war between Ukraine and Russia, Ukraine's strategic planning, and U.S. support for Ukraine's defense. Zelensky says he will present President Biden with a victory plan designed to end the more than 2-year-old war.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Former President Trump has said he would probably meet with Zelensky as well, whose trip coincides with the UN General Assembly. America is listening to Fox News.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure. Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity theft.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
All is quiet going through our Thursday afternoon. Sunshine hanging around 90 degrees for a little bit. Then tonight, partly cloudy, 80s for evening plans. 69. Friday, a couple of spot morning showers. Otherwise, partly sunny, 92. The weekend, Saturday, partly sunny, couple of spot showers, 90 degrees. A little better chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday, and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I want to talk to you about Air Comfort Service and a flash deal that they have going on right now. The website is aircomfortservice.com/flash. And I want you to check out how you can get a free service call. This is almost $100 worth of savings. And if you've been putting off having somebody come out and look at your furnace, look at your HVAC system because of the service price and all that stuff, this is the time. This is your opportunity. 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091. If you find them online at aircomfortservice.com/flash, you'll be able to learn more about Air Comfort Service as an entity. I am a multi-time customer of Air Comfort Service. I speak personally to their professionalism in both the abilities they have to service your home, but also to manage it and to treat your home with respect. And my family and my dog and everything, they were wonderful when they came by. If you need a service call at your home, reach out to them at 314-513-0091 or find them online at aircomfortservice.com/flash.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are two things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health From Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health From Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill, or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
The Social Security Trust Fund could run out of money in less than 10 years. Discover why this could change when you file for your benefits on Your Retirement Professors, Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra will be at Enterprise Center December 18th. Get the best seats by getting your tickets in September for this Christmas season. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, December 18th, 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Oh, thank you for WrestleMania 4 and 5, by the way. Thank you very much. But if you're going to sit in that chair, if you're going to do the Tyrus experience, you have to do it right because you are the people's champion, Mr. Trump.
Wow.
And on behalf of all the people of America, this is the
I like that. Now I'm really that's a good one.
That's the man who makes all the professional ones.
Beautiful, yeah.
There you go.
No, but this is the real one. This is a real deal. This
Yeah.
is,
No, I'm going to give a fake belt to the next president.
We're more used to that. That's good. Thank you, Tyrus.
You are the people's champion.
That's Tyrus. You know him Thursdays on this show, and you got to see him last night with Donald Trump.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Now, Tyrus, I don't want to say that you stole the show last night from Gutfeld, but when you presented that belt.
This morning.
What's that?
It's ridiculous. I've been pulled over 3 times this morning trying to go to work. Apparently, I'm under investigation for kidnapping because I stole that beef. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Okay, great.
Always humble. Always humble.
He sat in your
Always
chair.
humble.
He sat in your chair, Tyrus. What's
He
that
did.
like?
He did. It was uncomfortable, but I figured if you're going to give your chair up to somebody, it might as well be the president of the United States. So It was fun. I think, given where he was coming from, just coming off an attempted assassination, to be able to smile on the president's face, I feel like it was a career highlight of mine for sure. I would put that up there with my first WrestleMania, and being called the GOAT by the president is pretty cool.
Yes, he did call you that, and he explained the GOAT as well. Tyrus, I want to know, just from a background standpoint, I don't know how much you can divulge for us, but how long did you guys know that Donald Trump was going to be on the Wednesday Gutfeld show?
We knew, I think, about 3 or 4 days. We don't have a problem with leaking in our department, so we didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the day of.
Is it true that the audience that showed up that day had no idea?
Yeah, no clue. They had their look under your seat, but instead of car keys, it was President Trump.
That's unbelievable. That's got to be so wild to show up for that show.
That was the only way you could do it, though. Could you imagine the lines, and not to mention the fact that as much as you like ratings and things like that, given the fact that there's been 2 attempts on the president's and live, I think surprises like that are better for everybody in terms of it's not like it's going to stop, unfortunately. So,
had you met him before in person? Had you had that?
No.
That's the first time?
We met briefly a couple times in the WWE, but nothing, nothing more than, hello, Mr. Trump, nothing like that. I tried to kind of avoid it. I always felt like talking about presidents is better if you don't know him, because but then you meet him, and then he's exactly the opposite of anything that the media, the way they discuss him is disgusting. From a personal standpoint, now I brought my other kids weren't able to be there, and it was such short notice, but my daughter, her and Ingrid's aunt came, who had no idea. It was a surprise. And when he met my daughter for the first time, you would have thought that it was his granddaughter.
Oh.
He was like, he knew her name. They talked about horses. She gave him some tips on speeches, nothing like a 10-year-old telling you talk. Georgie.
Not surprising.
I like what you said, but you talk a little long. Like, okay, thanks for meeting the president. I'll just show myself out. Just blew my ambassadorship to the Cayman Islands, sweetheart. But no, he was, and he spoke to everyone, and he was just, there's no cameras on, so there's no reason for him to do it, but.
Why does he do it? Why does he do that? Because he said last night, I think the Gutfeld, there was a conversation between Trump and Gutfeld, and it was like, do you want a nice guy, or do you want a guy who's going to get things done? And he's like, I get stuff done, but then he goes, but I also think I'm a nice guy, and he said that in a way that I felt was genuine. Is he politicking when he's doing that with your family, or is he a nice dude?
I'm going to be honest with you. I wish I could say that he was stoic and he was, just kind of like, hey, nice to meet you. No, like everybody in that room, he knew enough about them to have a good conversation. And he was like, grandpa. I mean, there was no other way to describe it. He was so nice to everyone. He was so polite to my wife, my family, like my daughter and him. They talk forever. He's talking about when's her next horseback riding thing and her equestrian. It's just one of those things where I was just really taken back. As much fun as it was being on stage with him, seeing that side of him that normally I wouldn't think that someone like me would ever see. I mean, if you would have said at any point in my career that I'd be chumming it up with the president of the United States on national television, I would have looked at you like you were, whatever you're smoking, can I have two?
Yeah. I mean, aside from President Trump's appearance last night on Gutfeld, you have seen a lot of things in your lifetime. You've been a lot of places. People can read about it in both of your books, and I encourage them to do that. Tyrus, when I have a feedback form on my website, and people fill it out and tell us what they like about the show, you are the number one thing that people say as far as guests go. You are the number one response of what people like about this show. And it's because you're a real dude, because you respond in a real way. And I think that Donald Trump has that same, like, you're just a genuine person.
1,000% cut from the same cloth in terms, like, you might not like, he's going to tell you like it is, whether you like it or not. And he also doesn't take things personal. I think that's probably the most amazing thing. Is like, I would imagine, given the amount of falsities and abusive things, and you talk about people just being condemned and being compared by Hitler by people. That very easily could make you a bitter person, a guarded person. Why do I even need to do these interviews or whatever stuff, or come on shows and even risk, but that's not who he was. Like, I think the RFK Jr. story is about summed it up. He was literally suing him, and he still flew with his family anywhere. That's who he is. I think the greatest crime that the mainstream media has done is that they have painted a picture of a complete opposite of nothing but left-wing talking points about a man that they don't know anything about. Because here's the sad part. He would probably be the one Republican president that would work with them on things. We saw that with Obamacare, and it's he was saying, "Yep, I don't like it, but it's the best thing we have right now, so I want to work to improve it." When's the last time you heard anybody say anything positive about the other side? Especially given the fact that literally after bullets go flying over his head, and nick his ear, and another attempt within seconds of saying, "Oh, we're so condemn violence." Having said that, he's a danger to democracy. So, I mean, they're so far behind. This is all they got, and this is the ugliness. And I really hope a special counsel is appointed after this election to look into all of this, because I don't believe in coincidences, and I think this entire administration, from the deception of Biden's health, has been doing this country a great injustice. And I hope the people responsible are brought to justice, because what we're seeing now, you wouldn't even see in a third world country.
Yeah. It's actually pretty frightening when you stop and think about it. We're speaking with Tyrus. He's a regular on Gutfeld, of course, was on last night with former President Donald Trump, potentially next President Donald Trump. He's a Fox News contributor and an author. You guys had Trump on. He got the whole hour. He was the star of the show. Everything centered around him. I'm curious if Gutfeld has an open invitation extended to Kamala Harris to do the same.
Yes, 1,000%. Would love to have her on. Would love to have fun. Let's see if she can have fun. Let's see if she can, but I don't want to unburden her by what has been, but her last few speeches haven't been that great. So, for someone who uses a lot of adjectives, she really has a hard time explaining shit. I mean, stuff. Sorry.
You're keeping Brad on his toes here.
It's time to find out if that dump button works.
Yeah, it works. We got it. So Tyrus, I want to ask you before we let you go, when you live in the Northeast now, you're in New York City quite often. Donald Trump does a rally in New York. There are a lot of, politicos wringing their hands over, why are we spending time and resources in New York? I don't know if New York is in play the way Donald Trump says it is. But why be in New York?
Because two things. He is forcing them to spend money in New York and New Jersey. And you know what? I think New Jersey is very much in play. I think New York is going to be close. I don't think this is a close election, based by the behaviors of what we're seeing from the other side. They're in full-on panic mode. I don't think she has a road. I'm making a prediction that the election will be settled by 10 p.m. Eastern. I think they want it to seem close. I really, as best as the machine can do, they're running out of celebrities, unless they can pull like a Jesus Christ showing up at one of her rallies. They're running out of people. So I don't think it's that close, which makes it more dangerous and more scary, because they're going to pull up. The closer it gets, the more desperate they're getting. You see that they're trying to go back and bring up stuff from like 20 and 30 years ago. I think she was bringing up newspaper copies from New York back in the day. So they're really, really going all out. I think it's important that he goes to every state, and until the votes are cast, every state's at play. And I think that needs to be your attitude. Mm-hmm. When you start saying, "Oh, they got that," that spreads. He is fighting. His message is that he is fighting for the American people, and that is everywhere. It also means that you also need to work with the other side, and I think he understands that now more than ever. And I think there will be, based off just my limited interaction with him, I think if you came at him with a sound plan, and even though it came from a Democratic side, I think he would work with you. I think he would sign it. I think he's to the point now where no one knows better than him the importance of unity and ending this divisiveness. There's been 2 attempts on his life.
Yeah. We're asking so much of this man, and he's showing up for the job every single time. Last question,
With
Tyrus.
a smile on his face.
Yeah, I know, with the confidence. It's unmatched. All right, we have a poll up every day, and I just want to make sure we get you on the record with this, because Hillary Clinton came out and said she thinks that some of the trouble with Kamala is just the fact that she's a woman. Would you vote for a woman for president, Tyrus?
I would vote for Nikki Haley. I would vote for Tulsi Gabbard. I would vote for KT McFarland. I would vote for Judge Janine. I would vote. I have absolutely no qualms about it. I'd vote for Deborah Winger, childhood crush. Sorry. So if the plan, there's only one Wonder Woman. Sorry, but there's only one. But to say when they're saying those things, they have nothing. Have absolutely nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay? We're no longer at we vote for women, we vote for black men, we vote for gay men and women. We're past that. That's not this country anymore. Anyone can run. She was VP. She had every advantage to run. She's had 3.5 years to prove herself, to show what's going on. If they were doing a good job, if they were doing what they were supposed to do for the country, if the country didn't feel this way, she probably would win in a landslide. And ironically, President Trump probably wouldn't have ran.
It's true. I think it's important that we get on record with that, because it's not the gender.
I will vote for a woman. I just would not vote for Hillary Clinton, because I just didn't feel like nothing about her represents me or what I'm trying to do in my life, and I just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Again, Trump grew on me. I had the same issues as everyone else did in the beginning, but his deeds outweighed. And you know what? I kind of dig the smack talking now.
You're there for it.
Like I said last night, maybe you got to show them some pictures of the mansions in Mexico. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It worked with Abdullah, so But I had fun. I'm still kind of like chilling out did you know he called me the GOAT? Just want to put that out there. I don't know if you would.
Yes.
I know you're a journalist. Just want to put it out there.
It's facts. It's news to report, Tyrus. Of course.
No, it was all silliness aside. It was like a Johnny Carson moment for me. Johnny Carson, Ronald Reagan. Mm-hmm. It was like one of those things where they won't give us Emmys, but last night, if they were giving Emmys out, I stole the Emmy. So
you did a great job.
But the American people got a chance to see a side of him that no one else gets to see, and it's a shame, because if he did go in interviews where they weren't trying to pigeonhole him in, call him a racist or lie check him every 2 seconds like we saw at the debate, I think things would be different. But the other side is they're a lost cause, and I think the American people see what time it is. The Teamsters see what time it is. So I think the message is loud and clear. America's back, and hold our beer. We're going to fix this.
From your lips to God's ears, Tyrus. Thank you for being with us. You were the talk of X last night. We're grateful you made the time for us again this afternoon. Always good to talk to you.
Yep, just one goat to another.
Thank you. We'll get you next week, Tyrus. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye. Tyrus is a regular on Gutfeld. Last night's Gutfeld must watch. If you've ever thought about watching Gutfeld and you haven't before, Donald Trump, masterful last night on being, what would you say, a human being? Just being a person?
Yes.
What have I said a million times?
He says,
what does he need to do in order to win?
He needs to beat the caricature that the media has painted of him.
And he did that last night.
Oh my gosh,
in a great way.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're getting my friend Stewie in here, Stuart Rosenblum of Stuart's American Mortgage, a great partner and sponsor of this show, but also my go-to when it comes to what did the Fed do? What does that mean? What does that mean for my mortgage rate? What does that mean for other people's mortgage rates? I ask him all these questions, usually on text message. Might as well ask them on the air so that we can get some of your questions in here as well. Stewie from Stuart's American Mortgage. We come back.
Dragons were small, bumblebees were stinging. That's how I soon to be crazy. Each dream can be maybe for tomorrow.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
'cause a trip bring me relief.
What better way to support your nutrition than with the multivitamin that was created right here in St. Louis? Neovitin Original Multivitamin was created by St. Louis physician Dr. Ribicki to support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Now, Neovitin Original Multivitamin is formulated with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Ribicki's proprietary blend to give you nutritional support you won't find anywhere else. Neovitin is now conveniently available through our no-obligation monthly subscription. Cancel or pause at any time, and shipping is free. Support your nutrition with a subscription to Neovitin at neovitin.com today.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Honesty, integrity, humility, purpose. We're looking for people that share these values. As an officer in the Springfield, Missouri Police Department, you'll train in a state-of-the-art facility, learn special skills, and most importantly, learn that being humble through it all builds a better community. Our next training academy starts soon. Work hard and dedicate yourself to the craft, and I promise you'll have some amazing opportunities. Visit gospd.com for more information. That's gospd.com. Brought to you by the Springfield, Missouri Police Department.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. With Ramp, you get full visibility into your company's spending and control who spends what with each vendor. Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts instantly to save your team valuable time. Ramp automates data entry and routine tasks with automated approvals, expense categorization and bill payments, time-consuming tasks. Which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. Get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Paul Morrow. All roads, at the end of the day, lead to Alejandro Mayorkas. We all are having the same conversation about how this could have happened twice, etc. But at the end of the day, we still have not heard from the guy who's responsible.
Weekdays from 3 to 6. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Can't stop, addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not to life of imitation. Distant close into the reservation. Defunct the pistol that you pay for.
Consecutive meetings, there is a 0.5 point cut on the interest rates from the Federal Reserve. They say in light of inflation progress as well as the balance of risks. Now, the decision was not unanimous. The Board of Governor Michelle Bowman voting against it, saying that she believed a 25 basis point cut is the way they should have gone. Now, the Federal Reserve signaled 2 more rate cuts for this year if they go by 25 basis points. That makes a full % down by the end of 2024. But the dot plot shows the Federal Reserve was 1 vote away from only 1 more rate cut this year. These votes are very close.
So when I hear these things, I'm just not smart enough to understand all the economics around this, but I do know what the general implications are. So what I do is I hear, okay, the Fed's going to cut rates, or the Fed decided not to cut rates, and then I text Stewie, because Stewie understands these things, and he also knows how to explain them to me in a way that even I will understand. Stuart's American Mortgage, Stewie Rosenblum, is in here with me to talk to you and me about the Fed. That was a pretty big announcement yesterday.
I think it was rather expected. By the way, thank you for having me.
You bet.
I think it was rather expected. The market's already planned for a 0.5% rate cut. The economy is slowing down. Labor numbers are getting worse. Overall, the Federal Reserve doesn't want us to dive into a recession-type environment, so we knew that the 0.5% was coming. I think what the fear was, if they wouldn't cut a 0.5%, what would that mean for the overall perspective of future the immediate future for the economy? So the Federal Reserve is being smart. I think they're actually a little bit slow. They probably should have done something about last meeting, but they did it now 0.5%, and I would anticipate there is going to be another rate cut. I'm actually predicting another 0.5% between now and the end of the year, as you heard on the report.
Pre or post November 5th? Sorry, playing a sound here. Yeah, go ahead.
That's the question of the day. I mean, that's almost a political question. So I'm sure there's a tug of war happening between the White House and the Federal Reserve as to whether this should be before or after. I'm not sure. I think we have to wait and see what future reports are, what the September numbers look like before the Federal Reserve jumps in and just goes ahead and does another 0.5%. I think you're going to see the economy still slowing, and I think they're going to be anxious to make sure this doesn't happen. And what they don't want to do is overheat the economy by reducing it, everybody going out and borrowing money and spending it all of a sudden out of the blues. So I think they're going to be very cautious.
What's the real world implication for somebody? I'm going to talk about mortgages and mortgage rates. Obviously, your expertise as a sponsor of the show is Stuart's American Mortgage. And if you want to reach out to him, we're going to put up his information on the YouTube live stream so that people can get your contact information there. Does this affect grocery prices? Does this affect buying cars? Does this affect the things that we do on, in our regular lives? Our ability to afford things more? Is that what they're trying to do?
Absolutely. There are certain things that the Federal Reserve cannot control. So fuel prices, they really can't control. Food prices, they really can't control, because that's very dependent on what's going on in the whole world. If there's a war in the Middle East that affects oil production, then obviously that's going to affect the cost of gasoline that's out there. Food costs, similar. We import, export. It comes all around the world. That's also something they cannot go ahead and impact. But if you're going to buy a car and it's more expensive on the interest rate, you're not going to necessarily buy that car. So the Federal Reserve does have direct impact on large goods, i.e. cars, even mortgage rates.
Yeah.
So indirectly, they do impact those things. They have not been very successful in slowing down the housing market, and I think that's because of what happened during the pandemic. So right now, they're trying to impact it and bring the economy a little bit up, more labor, more job potential openings, and that's going to kind of level things off for everybody.
I'm reading from Fox Business right now. Fed decision opens the real estate floodgates after 4 years.
It's going to be bad.
What does that mean?
Well, real estate right now has been kind of a tug of war. If anybody knows, they're shopping for a house. There are 5 or 6 contracts going on a home.
People are going way over asking
10,
price
20,
and not
30.
getting it.
I saw somebody actually offer $60,000 over asking price and not get the house.
That's wild.
Well, now what's going to happen is mortgage rates are going to start dropping, and they have been. It's almost a whole % plus what it was 6 to 8 weeks ago. So this is a pretty big drop. Once the general public gets used to the idea that the rates are down, they're going to say, hey, I can afford it now. And you're going to see all these people that have been waiting by the sidelines jump in to want to buy homes. The challenge you're going to have, you're not going to get a proportional amount of sellers to the buyers that are coming into the market. So if you think 40, 50, 60,000 over asking price was a challenge, just wait when more people come out and all of a sudden want to buy the homes and they're getting more competing offers.
This is why you've always said if people are trying to get into the market right now and buy a home, that when rates go down and more people are getting into the game to buy a home, if you have more buyers than you have supply, prices are still going to go up. You might be able to lock in a lower price now at a little bit higher of a rate if people are anticipating rates are going to go down, and then you just refinance and grab the lower rate, but you're not paying a higher rate and a higher price.
Right.
At
So
the same time.
you're going to have one or the other. If the rates go down, the demand is going to be out there. You're going to end up paying more for the house. Your best bet is exactly what you said. Buy the house now. Pay a little bit above what the interest rate is or what you want to spend. I remember my parents were telling me stories where they used to take the cushions out of the couch to get the quarters to make the mortgage payment. So you'll be struggling a little bit, but in 6 months you can refinance and with us for free, and you'll end up getting the house that you want. If you wait, you may not even get that house, and you're going to end up paying 10, 20% more than what it is today. So a smart thing for buyers are to buy now and then refinance later.
I think that's a really smart move. And the other thing, too, that I always stress for people is if you do reach out to Stewie, and you can call him or text him right now, 314-324-4440, and you talk to him about your situation, he's going to help you do what's best for you, not what's best for him. And that's why he's been so successful with Stuart's American Mortgage for so long, because he cares about the old way of doing business and treating you right along the process. With this bigger rate cut, some people are saying it should have been cut a little bit before, a little bit this time, instead of doing it as much at this point right now. I have my suspicions about the politics of it, but I admittedly am ignorant to what any of these things mean without doing the research. And then when I do the research, I'm always trying to source the political lean of the person who's telling me what this means. But one thing I have seen that's been consistent is that the big rate cut implies that there is some significant trepidation about the future of the economy.
Well,
it's suggesting that the economy is not doing well.
That's exactly what it's suggesting. You know, again, the Federal Reserve's job is to make sure that inflation kind of calms down and our economy continues to grow at a very safe pace. If they're cutting the rates, they're trying to stir up economic activity. They've got closed doors meetings where they're saying, hey, the economy is starting to slow down here, and maybe at a pace that we don't want it to. We better do something quickly to get the economy back up rolling. And the way they do it quickly is by encouraging us as consumers to go out and buy. The only way we're going to buy is if it's cheaper to buy those big ticket items. So they're thinking about this. They're seeing what's happening. Inflation's going down. Maybe not at the rate that we'd like to see it, but it's definitely going down. So the Federal Reserve is cutting it, and I think they're going to continue doing so. But mortgage rates, you know, that's the big story right now is a whole percent and a half lower than what it was 6 weeks ago.
It's one of the biggest impacts you can make on your own personal financial situation is to make sure that your mortgage is positioned the best it can possibly be, which is another reason my experience with the bagel loan, I'm a 2-time customer myself, and they were both to refinance to lower rates like right outside of COVID. So the rate is super low, but I am one of those people who's sitting here watching rates because I'd like to build a home. But I don't want to lose a 2 whatever rate and have a 7.5% rate and not be able to afford the house that I want to build. So I'm just like kind of looking at the revolving door, waiting to see when's my chance to jump in.
It ain't going down to 2% or 3%. So that's it. You got to get comfortable with what the new payment's going to be. People have kind of acknowledged the fact that it isn't going to happen again. But you know, if you're in the market to build or you're in the market to refinance your house, there are some serious ways you can save money. And I'll just talk for a second, if you can, about the refinance part of it. There are different customers have different kinds of circumstance. So a lot of people want to refinance and save $200-300 a month on their payment. They need the cash flow. Quality of life is important. You need that extra money in your pocket. We had 97.1 listeners, 3 of them yesterday, okay, which is usually uncommon with the same type of basis. They went from a 30-year loan, they're a year and a half into it, from a 30-year loan to a 20-year loan, their payment went down $50 a month.
That's fantastic.
They knocked off 8 years of their loan, which translated to $75,000 to $100,000 saved.
I was going to say, what's the value of that? That's astronomical.
It's huge. So some people want to go ahead and save cash flow. If you're in a position where you have some credit card debt, you want to improve your credit score, that's an option. Improve your cash flow by reducing your rate. Some people want to say, you know what, I want to get rid of my mortgage, and the best way to do it is refinance from a 30 to a 20, or from a 20 or a 30 to a 15-year, and all of a sudden you're going to save a fortune amount of money. So there are so many different ways to do it. People don't think about it. Wow, $75,000 saved in money. That's a lot of money.
That's a huge amount of money. You mentioned credit card debt, and I know that this is a cash-out refinance is something that you have helped people with who are burdened by credit card debt. When everything it costs more, people have dipped into their savings, maybe drained their savings, built up credit card debt, and they feel stuck. One of the things President Trump said yesterday, and I don't know the details about it, I don't know that you know the details about it, but he was talking about capping credit card interest rates at 10% temporarily. With that set aside, credit card interest rates are through the roof.
Over 30%. It's the one financial vehicle that I can think of that doesn't have any caps. So these credit card companies have no legal limits. They can charge you 30%. Us as consumers, we're almost afraid to look at that statement to see what the APR is. 20, 30%. And if you're in a situation where you have a large amount of credit card debt, you may not acknowledge it, but in the back of your mind, your credit score is dropping. So how do you get it fixed? Well, you consolidate it, you improve your cash flow, and when you're in that situation, all of a sudden your credit score starts to get bigger and rise higher to higher numbers. We had a customer had a 590 credit score a year and a half ago, consolidated his debt. We just refinanced him today. His credit score is a 784. So if you want to
That's life-changing.
That is life-changing. If you want to get from a position of challenge to a position of really where your quality of life is improved, you have to take that step. You have to consolidate it. The debt's not going away, so you have to do something about it. Your house is your best vehicle to get the best rate and a stable rate, not an adjustable, because these credit cards are adjustables.
Right.
So your stable rate, stable payment, and it'll give you another lease on life. And it's very, very important that you actually say you can do it and you get off your chair and pick up the phone and make it happen.
Chuck just commented on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, how do you justify a loan when the price is inflated by demand? Does it appraise at the inflated value? Because I look at my home. I bought my home in 2015, and what my home is worth now versus what I paid for it, I look like I've been working hard to pay off that mortgage compared to the value, but the value is so inflated. How do loans and that inflation of those home prices, how does that work?
Is it inflated? When you say inflated, you're implying that there's no the value, that you're overpaying for it. Let's go back 10, 20 years. What were the prices of homes then?
Not that.
Not that.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought my first house in, I'm a little bit older, 1994, and it's in Chesterfield, and I paid $130,000 for it. So when you're implying inflated or you're overpaying, you're making the assumption that you're not going to get value for what you're investing in your home. That's not traditionally what's happened over the last 50 to 100 years. So I would expect that home prices and home values will continue to appreciate over time. Maybe not at the pace and at the rate that we've seen over the last couple of years, but they're going to appreciate over time. I don't see I don't see real estate values dropping back.
Right.
We had that back in 2008, 2009.
There'd have to be a really rough correction in order for that.
It was a rough correction. And then in 2008, 2009, when they had all these mortgage programs that would obviously collapse the mortgage industry, that was dangerous. That was unethical. There were a lot of bad practices. That's not the story today. The story today is demand versus supply. And I don't think you're going to see prices recede at levels until maybe 2030, 2035, when all these people who have 2 and 3% rates, their mortgages are going to start getting paid off and they're going to move and downsize. So these prices are going to keep going up over the next couple of years.
Okay, so a couple of quick hit questions before we let you go. If I am paying above what percent should I consider looking into a refinance right now?
I think it depends on your mortgage balance. If you have an interest rate over 6.5%, maybe over 6.75%, especially if you have mortgages over $300,000, $500,000, you ought to take it right now. If you're going to refinance with us, you're not going to have any closing costs, and that's the big question. People don't want to refinance, and they're waiting for the bottom. That way, maybe I should wait, maybe I shouldn't wait. If you refinance with us, there's no closing costs. Guess what happens in 6 months from now? Rates go down, and you can do it again. You have nothing you're losing. So if you're in the upper sixes, if you're in the sevens, if you have an FHA loan or you have a VA loan specifically, you should call us. You should refinance right now. I'm refinancing customers right now, veterans, in the fives. So if they got rates in the sixes or sevens, they can automatically refinance. No appraisal, income doesn't matter, and get extremely low rates. So there's a great opportunity. I would put that mark over $200,000 with the bagel loan.
Yes.
Over 6.5%, 6.75%. Do it now.
So the number to call, you can text him as well, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. One last question for you. People who have been thinking about buying a house, whether that means listing theirs for sale, I guess it might be a good time to list your house to sell too, but any hesitation whatsoever in getting into the market to get that house purchased because of interest rates, sitting on the fence, waiting for rates to come down a little bit more.
You know what? Your home is your castle. Okay? People say to me all the time, should I wait, should I not wait? My recommendation is if you find the home that's going to make you happy, you make money, you spend money to enjoy life and have a good quality of life. Look to see if there's a house that you want to buy. That should be the deciding factor to improve your quality of life and your enjoyment. That should be the deciding factor. Waiting or not, well, if you wait, interest rates go down, you may not get that house. So look at the house that you want, what you can afford in today's market, or what you think you'll be able to afford shortly. Not too far from it. Don't go crazy. And go ahead and shop it. Then when you find the house, you say, okay, it's a little bit higher than I expected. You'll be better off later on, you refinance. You buy a nice dress, okay? If you spend $500 on that dress and you hate it, you always remember you spent $500. You buy a dress for $1,000 and you love it, I guarantee you a year or two from now, you're not going to remember exactly what you paid for it. Don't be penny wise and dollar foolish. Shop for your house. Get the home of your dreams. The payments will be okay. You'll be happy to spend it. Don't compromise, and you'll be better off at the end.
And Stewie can help guide you through all of that. So if you have questions, I see a lot of people putting in some questions here that are a little bit more specific to their own circumstances. So please do not hesitate to reach out to Stewie. He's a friend of mine. I'm a customer of his. You can trust him with your economic situation. He will guide you to make a decision that is financially smart. And so all you got to do is reach out to him. Call him or text him at 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, or Google the Bagel Loan. Stewie, I love when you come in here. It seems like they're going to maybe do the rate thing again, and we'll get you back in when that happens.
It'll be my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right. Stuart's American Mortgage. Google the Bagel Loan for more information. Okay, let's get Ryan Wiggins back in here, and we'll continue to talk about that poll. Would you vote for a woman? Go to the Andy Fry YouTube channel and vote there. Stick around. We'll be right back.
For any answers, come back strong with 50 belly dancers. The world I love, the tears I've tried to be part of the wave. Can't stop, ever wonder if it's
This is the Andy Fry Show.
the world I love.
Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Andy.
Come and tell me when it's time to. Sweetheart is bleeding.
Sweet chocolate reward.
This is not just the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat at Walgreens. This is the sound of someone picking up a sweet treat right after receiving all their vaccines in one trip. This is the sound of treating yourself, because you protected yourself.
Stop by or schedule both your flu and COVID-19 vaccines today and grab yourself a sweet treat while you're at it. Vaccine subject to availability. State, age, and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey homeowners, it's time to transform your house into a masterpiece with Lakeside Renovation and Design, your James Hardie siding experts. Picture this, durable, weather-resistant siding that doesn't just protect, but elevates your home's value and curb appeal. James Hardie, the gold standard in siding, installed by the pros at Lakeside. Say goodbye to maintenance headaches and hello to a home that stands the test of time. Ready for a siding upgrade? Lakeside Renovation and Design is your go-to. Visit our showroom or call today. Unleash the potential of your home with James Hardie Siding.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
.97.1 FM Talk.
You've got like one job.
Don't worry.
Two main responsibilities.
It's really okay.
One is Wiggins America. The other is to tell us what time it is at 12:40 or 1:48.
Yeah, and at 1:48,
this is why I can't do it.
People are looking around like, what the heck? What time is it?
I don't even
gotta
know.
turn the radio on.
Come on.
And find out. Would you vote for a woman? That's today's poll, and we're going to talk about it here in a minute. We want to know what you think, though. So type in Annie Fry in YouTube, and the poll will come up along with the live stream. You can watch the show. It is 1:48. There you go. See, you were like, what the heck is going on? It's 1:48. Now you've got your bearings.
It's going to be 1:49. Good grief.
And this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Wednesday, September 25th, join the Annie Fry Show in St. Charles as we support Princess Storm's annual diaper drive. You can buy diapers at Ruler Foods to donate right there on the spot, or bring your own. Come say hi. Wednesday, September 25th.
We've been turning into strangers. Now we barely even touch. Superficial conversation, 'cause our guard is always up. I'm not ready to give up on
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Would you vote for a woman for president? Hillary Clinton seems to think that maybe Kamala's not getting a fair shake because she's a woman.
She does not have to do it, Kara. I'm going to just cut to the chase. In fact, she's put out policies on her campaign website. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's truly interested can go and read about them. She referenced policies. Mm-hmm. She actually doesn't just have policies and concepts. She has, plans about what to do. I think it's it's a double standard, and it's a double standard that is partly because they are still getting to know her, but also because they're still grappling with the idea like, oh, am I really going to vote for a woman to be president and commander-in-chief?
Yeah, if the alternative sucks, why wouldn't you vote for a woman? Here's a real question. Men, heterosexual men in the room.
Thank you.
Oh.
You were, no, you
obviously.
You knew.
Obviously.
You said men. There's only two people in here. I question whether or not that would have been directed to me.
You're talking an awful lot.
I'm fine.
You're oversharing,
kind of like
Ryan.
a nervous oversharing. I said heterosexual men and you took over.
Well, it's what I do. Anytime people around the office.
Maybe that's what you
water
think
cooler,
heterosexual
people are
men
just
do.
talking about heterosexual men. I'm like, hello.
Here, you needed one? I'm right here.
Obviously talking about me.
Completely. Who you've been looking for right here. Ta-da.
Here I am. I was behind the freezer door. Just closed it.
When men, I don't believe that heterosexual men will look at a woman who's running for president without internally assessing if they find that woman attractive. I think heterosexual men look at women and gauge their attractiveness in a non-creepy kind of way. I just think it's part of the process. Is that wrong?
First thing I do, I assess the person as a person.
I need you to think about what you're about to say.
I always
Straight white male.
I always assess a person first for the quality of their character, Annie.
Which is impossible when you first see them.
Then I consider how hot they are. But first, it's character. Always character.
Oh, my gosh.
We talk about this around the water cooler, too. People are like, heterosexual male. And I'm like, hello. And they're like,
is that what you do?
hello. And then we talk about the content of someone's character. And then we get a drink. And then we talk about how hot we are. And then we go home.
I don't think that women look at men and don't assess their attractiveness. I just don't think it's as immediate. I think women can find men attractive in a much more significant way when the personality matches the initial attraction. Am I oversimplifying?
No. I think you're right. I think that for guys, I mean, for me at least, I look. You said for president, and I was like, you could just drop that portion of that question off. Every time I look at a girl, and this is going to sound terrible because it's just without context, but I do assess their beauty. And I look at them and like, she's attractive, she's pretty, and it's not in a creepy way. It's just an observation.
A male heterosexual thing. Go ahead, Ryan.
Let me tell you
He's
something.
going to interrupt me.
Let me
again.
tell you something. The last couple times we've had a female candidate for president Nikki Haley, but she didn't get the nomination. We've had Kamala Harris. We've had Hillary Clinton. So we think, this is a Republican-Democrat thing. I recall when Sarah Palin was on the ticket, there were a lot of really nasty comments from men, and they were not Republicans, clearly. Yeah. So this is very much a man-woman thing, not Republican-Democrat thing.
And, the reason I bring this up is not because my assessment isn't at all that is the thing that matters to men. I just think it is inextricably part of the process for men.
It's first in the workflow.
And then you move on, and then you make smarter decisions. But I don't think women do that as much. I do wonder for men if you think that there are any broad assumption holdbacks that men would have for voting for a woman for president. I mean, is it just like if a man were doing that, is it just chauvinistic? Like we went in the first hour, we talked about problems women have with women. And being a female broadcaster on the air, I know that there are things that women don't like about me, and there are things that in some cases maybe I could, if I knew specifically what they were, I could do better at them. But I bet you that there are women on television that you don't like the way their lip moves when they talk or something like that. And I don't think men are paying attention to that stuff.
Not nearly as much.
But if I there are things that I will notice if I point out to you guys, you'll be like, oh yeah.
I can see that.
That happens. Yeah, that happens.
It would never occur to you. So I as a female myself, I can be extra critical of other women, and I understand that the system works the way against me as well. Is there anything that men are? Is there any hang up?
It's hard because you almost have to separate generic female candidate from Kamala Harris, because there are things about Kamala Harris.
Well, you've got Kamala, you've got Hillary, you've got Nikki, you've got Sarah Palin, who you rightfully brought into the conversation.
But she just doesn't seem serious, and some people might say, well, you're being misogynistic.
Hillary Clinton is saying that you're being misogynistic.
Yeah, but Hillary Clinton herself did seem more serious about things. Like, I wouldn't necessarily trust her to make great foreign policy, but I would think that she would walk into a room and be respected in a sense that I don't think Kamala would. So
it's a very good point.
I don't think it's necessarily a misogynistic point of view to criticize Kamala on some of the things that people are saying. No, that's misogynistic.
And it's easy to wash them away and not take the criticism seriously when you envelop it in, well, they just don't like women. To which I point out to Hillary Clinton once again, the Democrats are the ones who need to show up to vote for Kamala Harris. And if the Democrats don't like women, you have got a pretty deep problem. It's kind of like a policy point. Woman, check, vote. That's supposed to be enough.
Yeah.
And apparently, even for the Democrats, it's not enough. Are you telling me to wrap or one more minute?
One more minute.
Okay, that's what I figured.
One more minute. What do you guys want to talk about?
We're going to be in the new studio, the new old studio tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Maybe. We might decide to stay here.
Yeah, this could just be our studio. We should change the name to the Annie Fry Show studio.
That would go
When I was walking outside
really well.
just now, somebody was like, your time checks are so good in there.
I don't
think
think
you
so.
guys should just stay in there.
I think that you are dehydrated. I think you need to listen more intently. Listen with your ears, not just your eyes.
Well, I was just standing outside the water cooler waiting for somebody to say heterosexual male. Nobody did, so
We
I came
don't
back in.
really have a water cooler.
No, but we have a water machine.
Yeah.
It makes ice and water.
Sort of.
It's awesome.
We actually have two.
Right next to each other.
Yeah. Never really understood that.
Mix those up in the building. Come tell us what you think. Would you vote for a woman for president, yes or no? I'm watching these results come in, and, well, it's not as close as it was before, but maybe closer than I thought it would be. Stick around the 2 o'clock hour. Next.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
When you bought your home, you took on more than just a house payment. You spend weekends on upkeep. Repairs drain your bank account. And with your equity locked up, you can't do anything. You love your home and want to stay, but it's a constant struggle. What if you could sell your home, reclaim your weekends, and not have to move? You can with TrueHold's Sell and Stay program. TrueHold will buy your home now while the market is high. You can bank all that equity in cash and stay in your home with a lease. Plus, you won't have to worry about property taxes, insurance, or upkeep anymore. TrueHold unlocks your wealth without uprooting your life. Join thousands that have secured their retirement, paid off bills, and financed their dreams. Get an offer now while the market is hot. Call 1-855-300-9993. That number again is 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com. Don't wait. Call now. 1-855-300-9993. Or visit TrueHold.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
He says it's not a victory lap. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. But President Biden is celebrating success in the inflation fight.
The Federal Reserve's decision to lower interest rates for the first time in more than 4 years is not a declaration of victory, President Biden says, but a declaration of progress.
I'm not here to say we don't have a hell of a lot more work to do. We do have more work to do. But what I am here to speak about is how far we come.
Speaking to the Economic Club of Washington, D.C., President Biden predicted interest rates will go down further. He also warned about damage to the economy if the Federal Reserve loses its independence, saying he has not spoken to the chairman of the Fed since taking office.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Polls consistently give former President Trump an edge on the economy, up 5 points on the issue in the latest Fox News poll. Trump has meetings with Jewish leaders today.
The former president is really trying to target these disenfranchised voters who feel overlooked. And many Jews, frankly, do because of the rise in anti-Semitism over the last year and also a conflicted Democratic Party over this Israel-Hamas war.
Fox's Aisha Hasni in Washington, where Trump will speak at the Israeli-American Council's National Summit and also attend an event on fighting anti-Semitism.
Co-hosted by Dr. Miriam Adelson. She's a huge GOP donor who's reportedly pledged $100 million to help re-elect Trump.
Meantime, Vice President Harris heads to Detroit for a live stream event with Oprah. The Pentagon says it had no prior knowledge of deadly electronics attacks targeting Hezbollah militants in Lebanon.
On the larger point on, regional escalation, that's something that, of course, we're worried about, we're concerned about.
Deputy Pentagon spokesperson Sabrina Singh as Israel and Hezbollah trade airstrikes and rockets today. America is listening to Fox News.
Mommy, want to play a game with me and Dad?
Mommy's not feeling good.
You need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with Dayquil VapoCool. It's Dayquil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
Come on, honey. Let's let Mommy rest.
You guys are amazing. And so is Dayquil VapoCool.
Dayquil VapoCool, the vaporizing daytime coughing, aching, fever, power through your day medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Seems like there's more identity theft in the news every day.
Another major healthcare breach was reported today, resulting in the exposure.
Now, 1 in 4 consumers have been a victim of identity.
That's because there are endless places that could accidentally expose you to identity theft, in a breach, or simply by mistake. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
All is quiet going through our Thursday afternoon. Sunshine hanging around 90 degrees for a little bit. Then tonight, partly cloudy, 80s for evening plans. 69. Friday, a couple of spot morning showers. Otherwise, partly sunny, 92. The weekend, Saturday, partly sunny, couple of spot showers, 90 degrees. A little better chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms Sunday, and 84. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What's your favorite four-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times dealing with this crazy world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our four-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. And hope that your retirement plans don't take a back seat. You've watched inflation soar, and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments. Find out how you may be able to save big on taxes. And find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call today to set up a meeting. 314-373-1598. That's 314-373-1598. Compass Retirement Solutions. 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services but does not provide tax advice. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory firm in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Dell's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Freedom of thought. Freedom of speech. It's defended here on your home for conservative talk and conservative values. 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. You might just want to know.
And respectfully, we do understand that.
But you're asking about...
I'm asking specifically about handguns, because many of those handguns aren't purchased in places.
Universal background checks apply to handguns.
Yes.
They do.
But in many instances, those handguns aren't even bought lawfully. Yes.
Which is why I also have been very adamant for years. In fact, I myself protested at a gun show probably 10, 15 years ago about the gun show loophole and why we need to close that. Because what ends up happening is at gun shows at flea markets, gun dealers are not, under existing law in the past, required to register their sales.
That's the swallowing.
Oh, gosh.
Always. She does it all the time. Now, is this something that women pick up that women do? Or is it worse because I have my headphones on right next to my eardrums and I just hear that swallow and I go,
I don't think so, because I think, like at the debate night, we were talking about that. I picked up
dry
on,
mouth.
Yeah. And I think it's nervousness.
Yes.
I think that's because she does it at all these types of interviews.
If you're talking to somebody and they keep swallowing and like doing the wince face where you're trying to like pull saliva in your mouth, is disgusting. Aren't you like thinking, I can totally own this conversation?
No, because I'm the swallowing hard guy. I'm the guy who needs water whenever I'm speaking at a pulpit or something. I always do.
Mm-hmm.
Not on the radio, though. Isn't that amazing? You just kind of get used to it. Not nervous here.
But Kamala Harris is trying to present her bona fides on her gun stance, which is funny because they keep going back and forth. I think it's important that we do understand the breadth of information. This is from her when she was the Attorney General in California.
Responsible behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Kamala Harris wants you to know that just because you have guns in the sanctity of your home, that she wants you to know that they can still come in to check to see if you're being, checks notes, responsible.
Seems fair to me. Seems fair to me.
You want to flesh that? Get the wrinkles out of this.
So you're just sitting there. You're watching some TV.
What are you watching?
Probably sports.
Gunsmoke.
Matlock.
I don't know. The new Matlock with Kathy Bates, maybe. You're probably just sitting there watching that and just having a fine old time. And Kamala Harris or her goons in sunglasses come in and they say, "Hey, how you doing here? Just want to make sure you're being responsible with your gun." What do you have to be afraid of? You're already being responsible. Why can't somebody come in and demand to see that you're being responsible?
Brett?
I hate everything about it. Ryan, that's hilarious, but I hate everything about it.
Ryan,
I mean,
that's
there's
hilarious,
so many violations there. Second Amendment right violations. What is it? Fourth Amendment?
Unlawful search and seizure is a big one.
Yeah. Jeez. And she thinks, just don't think. And I'm like, who do you think you are? You're the Attorney General of the state of California at that time.
Behaviors among everybody in the community, and just because you legally possess a gun in the sanctity of your locked home doesn't mean that we're not going to walk into that home and check to see if you're being responsible and safe in the way you conduct your affairs.
Worst vice principal ever.
She says
Did
locked.
you say vice principal?
Yeah, you did. I don't know if you meant to. She says locked home. She didn't say like we're just gonna
Well, that's
we're
the
gonna
first
knock
test.
on the door.
That's the first test, Ryan. Because if they come up and they come to your house and the door just opens, that's strike one.
Strike one on you.
Yeah, if they come in unannounced and you're like, I'm being broken into, and you start using your Second Amendment rights to defend yourself, you're like, that's not being responsible. You're going to jail.
You're sitting. The wording she uses isn't even like good Democrat language.
No, it's totalitarian.
You're sitting in the sanctity of your locked home.
I think
we're gonna come in.
That was from the late 2000s.
Yeah,
maybe like 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, because in that video, Gavin Newsom is standing right next to her, and I think that was in San Francisco.
Do you remember? Every time I hear that San Francisco, I always think of Elf. Where they're like, Francisco. Do you remember that part?
Yes, of course
that's
I
all
do.
I hear. And then
I didn't know that's where you're going
and then
with
I
it,
get
though.
sidetracked. I know it's a problem.
Francisco. Francisco. It's a treat.
Does it matter? Like, can these be her 2007 thoughts and now they're not important anymore? There are a lot of things that people want to throw at Donald Trump that he did when he was A, not a politician, B, not a Republican, and C, like the Central Park 5, which is one of the things that gets thrown at him the most from a racist standpoint. He was none of those things, politician, Republican, running for office, or anything like that. And from my understanding, the Central Park 5, the prosecuting attorney was a person of color.
Mm-hmm.
the anticipate that they were expected to be guilty. Donald Trump acted in that regard was wrong. So, I mean, you could certainly be wrong in the past, but all of the things that they want to throw at Donald Trump from his past must stick. But Kamala Harris's actually policy points when she was in an elected office in the state of California, acting as the attorney general, we're supposed to be like, oh, that was 15 years ago. That doesn't count.
The attorney general, the chief law enforcement officer of the state of California. It's her job to uphold the laws of California and the Constitution.
You absolutely can change policy positions. It's not impossible to do that. But if you're in public office and you're rising, you've gone from being a local candidate to now running for president of the United States, you got to explain the journey that you went on to arrive at a different place.
Yeah.
Her journey consists of 2 months ago, I believe this. Now I'm running for president.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not a good journey.
You can't just,
Depends on who you are.
Well, yeah.
That could be a great journey.
It's working so far.
But especially something like that where she's talking about violating your Second and Fourth Amendment rights. You can't just hand wave that away. You have to explain why you thought it then and why you were
Did
wrong.
you say
to
Fourth
think,
Amendment rights?
Isn't it illegal searches and stuff?
It is, but I'm just surprised that that's the one you choose because there are multiple. Is it a multiple choice question? Usually, probably D. All of the above.
Yeah,
I thought you'd be more on the 2A.
I said 2A as well.
But okay, because the Fourth Amendment is 100% in play in this one.
But you can't just hand wave that away. You have to go back and explain. Well, here's why I was wrong. And if you say I wasn't actually wrong anymore, I just don't think that's the right way of going about it. That's still disqualifying because that means you still believe what you said in that moment.
Brad, so far her answer has been, I may tweak policies here and there, but I'm the exact same.
My values are the same.
My heart of hearts hasn't moved. I still would like to maybe come into your house and take things from you. It's just for communism now instead of for guns.
People are making a lot over this my values haven't changed remark as if it's not true. She values Kamala.
Yeah, that's a typical politician.
That's how they haven't changed. I mean, she can say that with a straight face because it might be the only truth she's talked about.
Yeah, I appreciate her telling the truth for once.
Yeah.
Thank you for not changing your values. Your values are elections.
One day, you can't keep up with Joe Biden. The next day, you are trying to replace Joe Biden. It's amazing.
It is amazing to think that within the last, month and a half, you go back and people who are now talking about her and how amazing she is and all these these media people and
I want to correct you,
people.
Though. People talking about how amazing she is, there aren't that many people doing that.
Media people, Washington people. I'm putting the disclaimer here.
It's even kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel on that one.
But my point is, those same people a month and a half ago. This is
you went
not
to Jerry Seinfeld
long.
there for a second.
I'm gonna continue. This is not long ago. Where there's a supercut out there of them saying, "Joe Biden, are you kidding me? The dude's sharp as a tack." And it's over and over and over. He's unstoppable. He's so smart. I'm Joe Scarborough. I should know.
This is the best version of Joe Biden.
Yes.
How soulless. What do you think when they look in the mirror in the morning, what are they thinking?
How do we get Democrats elected?
That's it.
I had a thought while you guys were having this discussion, and it's the first time I've had this thought. It was very fleeting, and I don't want to think about it too much because I really don't want to be wrong. But have you guys considered, first of all, if Donald Trump wins the election, I'm not prepared for that. I'm not emotionally prepared for 4 years of Donald Trump being the president again, because we have had to stand strong and assess and react to policies that we think are the opposite of what needs to happen for 3.5 years now. And it has not been what I would call fun. We try to have fun while still addressing the needs of the country to know what is going on, to keep you informed. But we also have to have a big emphasis on exhaling throughout the course of our show. It's a big part of what we do, and we hope that you like that we do that. I'm not emotionally prepared to have to switch over because I've done the Trump thing too. I've been on the air. When Donald Trump was the president, we had access to some of the highest people in the federal government who would come on our show and talk to us on a regular basis. Biden gets elected, that's gone. Mm-hmm. We talked to a lot of people who were in the Donald Trump administration. They still come talk to us, but nobody in the Biden administration wants to talk to us. So the show is going to change, God willing, again, if Donald Trump gets in office. But have you considered that once Donald Trump wins in November, that we are not going to have to talk about Kamala Harris at all anymore?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I have not thought about that.
Isn't that a good thought?
I have not thought about that.
Ryan and I had this conversation. This goes back to the hard swallow because I mentioned this to him. I said, all other things aside, I don't know that I could sit through 4 years of having to cut audio of listening to her do the hard swallow before she answers a question.
But I mean, I haven't considered the she's not running for president. You know, like if J.D. Vance were running for president and he didn't win, he would go back to being a senator.
Mm-hmm.
He'd still be relevant.
Right.
And he'd still make it into our day every once in a while, potentially. I don't think that if Donald Trump doesn't win that he's going to be inconsequential. I think he'll still be around. He'll still be the leader of the Republican Party. And God willing, if we have a different candidate in 2028, because he would be 82 or something at that point, if we had a different candidate, that candidate will have to be handed the mantle from Donald Trump. But if Kamala Harris loses, she gone. Until she does something else. Maybe she runs again in 2028. But for the amount of attention that Kamala Harris gets in my brain on a daily basis, because she's running, rightfully so, out of respect to the candidate for the Democratic Party that they very diplomatically chose, I have to pay attention to her. I have to listen to her. I am not a fan at all of Kamala Harris. I never have been. I remember the day she dropped out of the presidential race right before Iowa. And I was elated because I was like, all right, let's move on and let's get to the nuts and bolts of the rest of this race. And when Joe Biden came out and said, I need to pick a woman of color for my vice presidential candidate, I was like, don't pick Kamala. And that's what sealed the deal, I think. I think that was personal. That was terrible.
Yeah.
But just during this conversation, during this segment today, is the first time I realized if she loses, we can move on.
You know, what will they criticize, though? They will find something. Don't get me wrong. This is the media. They hate Donald Trump. They'll find something. But the facts will be the major things. Inflation is not going to be worse. The border is not going to be worse. You're going to be comparing everything to the last 4 years. Maybe the economy does dip here soon, maybe at the beginning of a Donald Trump presidency. Crime, you think that the numbers there are going to be worse? Almost everything that you can analyze is going to be better under Donald Trump. So the attacks will be ad hominem, which is easy to do against Trump. Don't get me wrong. But the facts will be there.
Yeah, and I think maybe the people might be a little bit inoculated to the attacks on the ad hominem attacks. They're like, yeah, but things are better. Objectively better. I don't care that he said something mean.
If he wins, that's proof that they are immune to it already. So the presidency won't matter at that point. They can say whatever they want.
In their own inherent right.
In their own inherent right. Thank you very much. Back to the first hour of the show. Get the podcast.
Maybe. At some point.
Yeah.
Would you vote for a woman president? That's the YouTube live chat poll. Come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and tell us. I got a couple of lists here that we're going to get to. You guys get to pick which one you want to do first. 10 old-fashioned things Gen X people refuse to do anymore. And the other one is 7 mistakes people with poor social skills make in conversations without realizing it. Old-fashioned Gen X stuff or poor social skills in conversation?
I think poor social skills in conversation. We
Brad
need to get that one in.
Brad, okay.
Poor social skills.
When we come back, see if you're making these 7 mistakes. Go vote in the YouTube channel on whether or not you would vote for a woman for president. Yes or no, guys and gals. We need to know what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
So Ruler Foods, they have your savings that you've been seeking out. Ruler Foods, you can save on your grocery bill every time you shop there. People are looking for ways to make sure their checking account doesn't get drained every time they go to the grocery store. Why haven't you gone to Ruler Foods? I'm telling you, it's where it's at. It's where the savings is at. It's where we will be at next Wednesday at the West Clay Street in St. Charles, Ruler Foods, for our annual diaper drive to support Princess Storm on our sister station at Hot 104.1. She raises diapers each year for the St. Louis area diaper bank, and we thought, well, why the heck wouldn't we try to help her? And you guys have shown up every year and done such a great job in doing so. So please put this on your calendar. We'll be out there from noon to 3 collecting diapers for local families, local babies that need them. You can go into Ruler Foods and pick them up right there. You can bring them. We'll take any kind of diapers that you want to bring. But the Ruler Foods in St. Charles, you need to come out and see us from noon to 3. It is an amazing cause. It's our way of helping Hot 104.1 and Princess Storm make a really big impact locally for those babies' bottoms that need those diapers. Next Wednesday at the St. Charles Ruler Foods, rulerfoods.com.
I'm John Oran, Puck's sports correspondent, and I have a new podcast called The Varsity, where I will take you inside the executive suites and owners' boxes that run the entire sports business. Twice a week, I will bring on the smartest people I know to break down the hottest topics in sports media and give you a window into the inside conversations that are happening throughout sports media. So be sure to follow and listen to The Varsity Podcast, available now on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Story Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal issues. The Lance Story Law Firm has helped thousands of clients navigate the best resolution plans, and we tell you up front exactly how much it'll cost. Tax resolution law is all we do. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Land Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Call today to schedule your free consultation with me, 314-260-6120, or visit lance.drurylaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Guys, it's time to take charge of your health with my friends at Victory Men's Health. Mark Cox here. I already love what they do at Victory. They do hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, even vitamin deficiencies. Now they're offering specialty cardiovascular testing and even early detection cancer screening. Visit them at one of their 4 great locations, now in Sunset Hills, Town and Country, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk is online, and you can stream it on your phone anytime. Just download the Odyssey app, and 97.1 is one button away. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So we've got a list here, and it's 7 mistakes people with poor social skills make in conversations. And then it says without realizing it. I think that the 3 of us have good communication skills by profession, But would you agree? Why are you smiling like that?
I don't think that I have the greatest social skills.
Did I say communication skills or social
Yes,
skills?
you say communication skills.
Well, that's different than social skills.
I thought you were going to say social skills.
No. So we've established that Brad's social skills suck.
Yeah, this is
that was
embarrassing.
That was an inadvertent.
Oh,
You don't have bad social skills.
Maybe not. I don't know.
There's a lot. There's
this
a lot
is
of
awkward.
Yeah, a lot of long
How are
pauses.
you guys feeling right now?
Not great.
I don't know if this is brilliant or really, really bad. No, I don't think you have bad social skills. I think we're good communicators. That's what we have to be. But it is kind of hard to be the person who has to command a room for 3 hours. Or like you, Ryan, you have to kind of like wait to be thrown to.
Speak when spoken to.
And then just like, yeah. Why do you say it like that? I don't like the way you're looking at me.
It's just the rules. Those are the rules that I've been told by the host.
That's not true. I don't think. Is it?
Just through body language.
It's just implied.
Like this. And I'm like, okay, I'll interpret that as
Zip it. Do you remember
speak when
that?
spoken to.
Do you remember that whole skit from Austin Powers?
Yeah. This is going great.
No, I'm just trying to replay that skit in my head. I forgot I had to keep talking. Let's go back to me talking about my good communication skills.
Yeah, you're great. The premise of this is we're all really good at this.
You can command a room. You have a show on the weekends, Ryan. And so you have to carry that. And you know how to move a conversation. Does it become a problem for you if you're in a social environment? Do you ever take over? Or do you realize that you have deemed yourself the host of the conversation around in social situations?
Yeah, I have. In fact, my default is to kind of take over to make sure everything, like the conversation's running smoothly, that everything is going fine.
It's not so much about the amount that you talk,
No.
but it's the flow.
Making sure, everybody's got a good flow. I don't know why, but I do that. You know what was weird?
Are we talking about the same thing?
I'm not sure, but
We'll find out.
Tell you what was weird. I was always that, like in a workplace, typically if you are a good communicator, people just kind of look to you to be the communicator if they're not good at it. Or if they're just average at it and you kind of have a big personality, you just kind of end up doing that, even if you're not trying to.
Do you have a big personality?
I think so. I don't try to, but I just kind of go big. When I started here at 97.1, I walked into meetings where for the first time I was like, oh my gosh, I actually need to shut up. Everybody here is good at talking. I've never been in an environment like this before. It was intimidating to be around so many people who are good at carrying a conversation.
What is that? What does it mean to walk into that?
Well, for me, it was just deciding, okay, I'm just going to shut up finally.
You're talking about in a meeting. This is not on air.
No. This is just life. Like Mark Cox, I'm trying to think, Glover at the time, when I started here, I think Reardon eventually, you'd be in meetings and you'd be like, I don't need to say anything. Everybody's really good at carrying conversations. And I've never had that until I sat in those rooms.
Because you were the guy?
Because I was always the person doing it.
The number one thing on 7 mistakes people with poor social skills make in conversations without realizing it is dominating the conversation.
Ooh.
I'm so concerned that I'm going to do that I actually will avoid being in specific conversations because I don't want to get into that place.
Your default is to dominate the conversation and you're trying to make sure you don't.
You know what it's like to have something to say?
Yes.
And people look at you because they expect you to speak. And I don't want to be in a position where, because of what I do for a living, that my words carry any more weight than anybody else who would be having that conversation in the room. So meetings or, even like Bible studies and stuff like that makes me nervous to be in big groups like that, because if a topic comes up and it starts to be discussed and I'm sitting here like, well, I got some thoughts on that. If people know what I do, I don't want to be like a news talker making the comments. I just want to be another person in the room making the comments. And I worry that dominating the conversation could be demeaning to other people. I'm inferring a lot. I don't want people in the room to feel belittled by me, like I think that my opinion on things is so important. So I literally don't go to any meetings anymore, or I try to stay out of group conversations.
I skip all meetings here.
We don't need to talk.
One thing I've noticed.
The ironic thing is Mark and I probably skip those two. There's nobody talking.
One thing I've noticed that you've done over the last 4 or 5 years, 6 years that I've known you, is that you've stopped entering a room or a Bible study, for that matter, with a fog machine. Because originally, you knew Annie was coming.
I almost interrupted you to say, is this serious or not?
It is dead
I didn't
serious.
know.
That and the Alan Parsons Project playing.
Knock it off.
Yeah, the lights and stuff.
They have lasers.
She
let
comes
it go.
in.
Yeah.
She's got powder, throws it up in the air.
Mm-hmm. She's let that go, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because it feels like I'm just talking to a person instead of a celebrity.
She's growing.
I agree. We should talk about this off air, though. Just me and you.
No,
Brad.
she deserves the praise for doing well.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, she tends to dominate a conversation. Here's where we kind of take a back seat and let her go.
Well, yeah, but I feel like she's doing a really good job right now because she's just letting us go.
Yeah, I do too.
Annie, you got anything to say?
She's literally learning. I would, for the record, I would appreciate the fog machine coming back.
I thought it was pretty epic.
I did too. I loved it. Maybe pick a little different music. Stuff you were doing kind of cliche. I'm kind of bored. What are you doing over there? Come on. Look, this is your opportunity. What are you doing? You were waiting.
She's getting ready to say something.
Yeah, we got to let this go. Annie's about to speak. Everybody shut up.
Starting at shooting guard. Number 45.
43.
43. Annie.
Not a shooting guard.
Fry.
Power forward.
Thanks for that.
You guys suck. I'm not dominating any conversation for the rest of the week. Where's my list?
We want you to.
No, you don't. It didn't sound like you wanted it.
We don't have the list. You have to lead this.
I don't want to dominate the conversation.
What's
they should have made that number 7, not number 1.
That was We've only gotten through 1 point on the list.
Yeah, it's a conundrum.
What are we going to do?
I don't know. What are you going to do?
Number 2. Let's go number 2.
You're going to do number 2.
Let's play the Alan Parsons Project.
Here.
As we walk into the bathroom with the fog machine.
You go.
Okay.
There's the list. You have my phone and my wallet.
Number
Take
2.
it away.
Not picking up on social cues. See, I would think Annie would have been better at this. We were literally telling her to keep talking, and she didn't do it. Not picking up on social cues.
Just trying to be humble.
Social cues are, if you're wondering what the definition is, subtle signals that people send out during conversations. They can be verbal or nonverbal. It can include things like body language, facial expressions, or tone of voice.
So, Ryan, picking up on social cues is important. Are you picking up on any social cues right now? Maybe some subtle body language or...
No, I think you're staring at me.
Okay.
I haven't noticed anything else in the room.
Glance over, like, to your right.
Number 3. This should be a testament to how good I am off the cuff, because I'm just getting this list. Number 3.
Come see how good I look.
Interrupting constantly. Nobody likes to be interrupted, and yet it's a common conversational fox pause committed by those with poor social skills.
That would be faux pas.
I don't know how you pronounce it in America. We say fox paws in France. Number 4.
How would you know?
Look,
I've never been to Europe either.
I can't go through my entire history here. Number 4, neglecting body language. Neglecting it. Seems a lot like the other ones.
Delivering or reading?
Communication is not just verbal, it's also physical. It feels the same. Our body language speaks volumes about our feelings and attitudes, sometimes even more than words do. I invite you as a listener to tune into the Annie Fry Show stream right now and see what kind of signals that Annie is giving off. If you've noticed, she's not talking as much, but she is communicating to the room. And if you'd like to see how that's going, tune into the live stream. Number 5, avoiding eye contact. Eye contact can be a tricky thing. too little. This is true. Too little, and you come across it's like Trump.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
I've been talking to you for 30
That's true.
minutes, but this one, man, that's legit.
Too little, and you come across as disinterested or even dishonest. Here's where it gets weird. Too much, and you can seem overly intense or intimidating. Have you ever talked to somebody who has too much eye contact?
Yes.
I don't know, because I am guilty of too little.
Are you?
Oh, yes. I don't like looking at you right now.
Whoever wrote this says, I learned the lesson the hard way during a job interview.
With too much or too little?
I don't know. Let's find out. I was so nervous that I kept my gaze fixed on the table from, too little. I was hoping for too much. Later, a friend who worked at the company told me that the interviewer found my lack of eye contact off-putting.
You do need to have the right amount of eye contact, but even for this conversation today, Ryan and I have had to try to figure out how to see each other in this studio, because the studio we're in right now is much smaller, and the way we have things set up, Ryan is directly behind a monitor, and so it's weirder to see one of your eyes than it is to see two of your eyes. So I'm kind of just, I know that you're here because I hear you in my headphones.
The article addresses
the
this. They call it pirate eye contact.
Which one?
Only having one eye.
Oh, okay. I think you're full of crap.
I'll get back to the real article in just a second. Your husband, Jared, is texting me.
No, that's my phone.
Yeah, I know, but he's texting.
Not texting.
And I'm just talking to him as you. Number 6, oversharing personal information. You definitely don't want to do that. We talked a lot about that yesterday. And the last one, number 7, failing to show empathy, which sometimes I feel like you always do.
Ironically turned into a roast on me. I had no idea that this was about Annie's 7 mistakes.
Yeah, you're like Dean Martin. We're going to sell these DVDs for years.
The comedic genius.
Yeah, I hear the DVD business is hopping.
The comedic genius that is Ryan Wiggins, and I don't know if you guys can...
knock it off. I don't even know what else you're going to say.
Ryan violated every one of those rules as he was reading them. He's just in here doing all the worst stuff that he could possibly. He dominated the conversation.
Great idea to get him to stop by calling him a genius.
Oh, stop. I don't care about that kind of praise.
Now he's pirate.
It's like all you care about is that kind of praise.
Final reflection. It's a journey.
Give me my phone.
No, I want to finish the article now.
No.
Let me read this. It says, the philosopher Socrates once said, "Speak so that I may see you."
Put your hands down.
Annie?
Too much body language.
Our conversations reveal who we are. Our thoughts, our feelings.
This is like Kamala Harris talking or memorized lines.
Into our soul. Next time you're in a conversation, reflect on your approach. Are you making mistakes? Consider how you can improve.
Well, next time I'm in a conversation, I will consider your mistakes.
Thank you very much.
Oh, man. Would you vote for a woman for president? Yes or no? Any Fry YouTube channel. The results at the end of the next segment when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
What's it going to take for you to realize the IRS is in full-blown attack mode code, and if you have IRS issues, your timely response is critical. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. We certainly know the IRS has ramped up efforts because we're seeing a lot more clients with threats of intents to seize property or levy rights to property. If you have IRS issues, call the Lance Story Firm today. Today, don't wait. Those IRS notices have hard deadlines for exercising your appeal rights. If you miss the deadline, your rights to a legal appeal are gone. Let the Lance Story Law Firm get between you and the IRS today, and we'll help you manage your case to achieve the best outcome. IRS problems are serious legal matters, so call Lance Story Law Firm, located right here in St. Louis. Don't wait. Call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120, and schedule your free consultation with me, Lance Story, or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, St. Louis, are you in search of top-notch cybersecurity solutions? Look no further. ThrottleNet is here to help. Ransomware attacks are on the rise, putting businesses like yours at risk. Don't let cyber criminals jeopardize your hard-earned success. ThrottleNet provides comprehensive cybersecurity services tailored specifically to your unique needs. Our award-winning customer service provides 24/7 protection to keep your data safe and secure. Take charge of your digital security today. Protect your business, protect your future. ThrottleNet.com, your reliable partner in cybersecurity.
If you're considering new windows, there's nowhere else to go but Window World. Mark Cox here. My friends at Window World are doing something now they've never done before. That is offering up to 36 months interest-free financing for your purchase. So you get the great windows put in now, you get the energy efficiency, the great look, and then you have 36 months to pay for it. How about that? Window World has been around for a long time, and their reputation speaks for itself. They are highly rated in the Better Business Bureau and all of the rating agencies. They're big supporters of our St. Louis Blues. And here's the thing. If you mention you heard this on the Mark Cox Morning Show in 97.1, you're going to be entered in a drawing for 4 Blues tickets during the upcoming season. And that's great. They're going to pick a winner every month, and good luck to you. If you need new windows, I'm telling you, Window World is the way to go. 314-993-1800. That's 993-1800 or windowworldstlouis.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Would you vote for a woman? Remember, we're not talking about this woman. We're saying, would you vote for a woman? In today's Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll, we'll give the results of this poll in a matter of minutes. It is 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Someday, when my life has passed me by, I'll lay around and wonder why you were always there.
So, in the time that we've been doing YouTube live chat polls, I don't know, it's been years, I guess, at this point. Do you remember the highest number of votes we've ever gotten on a poll before?
I was thinking it was about 3-4 billion.
Billion.
Is that off?
Inflation.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was around 400 or 500, wasn't it?
We have over 400 votes in today's poll.
That's up there.
I mean, that's definitely in the top 5 response that we've ever had. And I was saying at the beginning of the show, one answer was dominating the other, and then no started ticking up. And as no was ticking up, our new subscribers were ticking up. So I think there seems to potentially be some sort of concerted effort to push in the direction of a more balanced approach, at least on response, but maybe not balanced on cognitive processing. So if you haven't done it yet, we need you to weigh in. It's the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and all you got to do is type in Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, on YouTube, and you'll see we're broadcasting live. And when you open it up, there is a live chat attached to the live broadcast. And in the live chat, once you open that up on your phone, you can watch us on your phone anywhere you go on your YouTube app. You can watch us on your smart TV. That's fun. A lot of people watch us at home that way, or maybe have us on in the office that way. And you can check us out on the computer as well. Just find the live chat of the current live broadcast, and that's how you can vote. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, you guys, that we are at 8,948 subscribers, which is like 40 more than yesterday, which is
All right.
me telling you where some of these votes are coming from. But we're 52 away from 9,000.
All right.
Which
so
I think we should try to do
people.
that by Friday.
I think we should.
Do we have X's and O's guests tomorrow?
We don't have X's and O's guests.
No X's and O's guests. So maybe something exciting that Ryan Wiggins can do for us tomorrow should we get. Is there anything you're willing to commit to people?
How about this?
Uh-huh.
Yesterday, we talked a little bit about if you were having mail problems.
Oh, my gosh. Yes.
Sending your ballot in.
Yes, obviously.
Mail, M-A-I-L.
It happens to
It
a
happens
lot
to
of
the
people.
best of us. If we were to hit 9,000, I might be able to put together a commercial.
Solutions for
mail problems.
Mail problems.
Yeah. And maybe I'd bring in some voices and stuff, Like I'll try to have that ready for tomorrow.
Okay.
And if we hit 9,000,
we'll play.
Boom, it'll be ready. Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Are we going to get fired?
Yeah.
Are you going to get fired?
Yeah.
Am I going to get fired?
Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Sorry, guys.
I got to change my weekend plans.
Yeah, Brad Range doing middays.
So we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be back in the regular studio tomorrow.
That's the goal.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, we almost could have been back in the regular studio today, but it was kind of like a last minute. Nope, head on over to see.
Just for extra safety and security.
Yeah. Horseshoes and hand grenades.
So is that almost?
Almost.
Almost. Did anyone say almost?
It's close.
Did we say that?
It's close only counts.
Close only counts.
Not almost.
They're asking for the Annie Smells song. No. No.
The Annie Smells song.
That one.
Oh, yeah.
That one died in the old studio. It just
yeah, but who cares if it dies? It's already smelly.
The fortunate thing about this one
That's not what the song is about. It's not about my scent.
It could be.
Ryan doesn't have
isn't.
access to a computer that can play that here.
No, I hope I have that somewhere.
Maybe.
I'm sure I do.
I could put in a word to engineering.
The diaper drive is next Wednesday. I really hope that we get. I'm going to look at the weather right now, but that is one of my favorite things that we do all year. And last year we did Illinois, so I think we've gone St. Charles, Illinois, Collinsville, and now we're back to St. Charles. So I really, really, really hope that we are able to make a huge, huge impact for Princess Storm and her diaper drive. That's the one that we support. And when we first started doing this, it kind of goes back to a philosophy that I wish that as conservatives we would uphold more, which is the idea that we should not wait for things to get fixed for Republicans to be in office, which is, a lot of the things that we complain about that aren't going our way. We're like, well, if a Republican gets in, then things will change. And there are a lot of things that we can impact and affect without any politicians getting involved. And generally speaking, if that possibility exists, you can impact it in a bigger way by just participating in the solution. I mean, how many things do we talk about on a regular basis that we could actually, societal, cultural issues that we could make a difference on just by being more active instead of spending our time tweeting about it? I put myself at the front of the line of people who need to do better at this. But there are a lot of ways that we can make a strong impact. And so that kind of led us into, when we started talking about the possibility of supporting Princess Storm's diaper drive, it's like, I don't want a partnership in this. I don't want to do my own diaper drive. I want to say, I see somebody doing something good and doing it well, and I want to say, what can I do to lift that up even more? And hope and pray that the Annie Fry Show listenership faithful want to do the same and show up in a big, impactful way to make Princess Storm's diaper drive even bigger. And so far, you guys have shown up en masse to do that. And I really hope that we have that Wednesday.
Yesterday, as I was getting ready to leave, the Storm had the president of the Diaper Drive Bank on her show. And so one of the things we're trying to do is work out a time where we can get her and Storm in to come in and talk to us about what they do over at the Diaper Bank. And we can get a chance to brag on you guys a little bit, too, because you guys are just, like Annie was saying, amazing. It's unreal how well you guys help.
It's good. It's local, too. It's the St. Louis Area Food Bank, so it all stays here. I'm not, sorry, diapers. We do food, too, so that's another one.
And that'll be we'll do that in December.
Yeah, and these are just great local charities, and it's good to know that you're helping people who, we talk about inflation a lot. we probably don't talk about the sort of microeconomics of what happens when inflation hits people. It hits people at the bottom of the scale the most.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why you're seeing an increase in homelessness. That's why you're seeing these things, is because everybody kind of drops down a rung. And it makes it harder for people to make ends meet. We started this pretty much right when inflation was getting bad.
Yeah.
If you think about it, I don't think we intended to do that, but we did. And it's great to see people turning out who have the means to sometimes just buy a little package of diapers. It's not, some people show up with a truckload. That's been awesome.
Oh, man. We've had pallets of diapers delivered, and that was just hero's care, right?
Yeah, that was hero's
showed
care.
up, and, still props to them, the people that they were able to help in that process. Just it's a really awesome day, and we would love to share that day with you. Ryan, if we get to 9,000 subscribers, you said you would do what?
I will make a commercial for people who are having election problems.
No, that's not. Oh.
Well, they're having
male
doctor.
Well, I just thought. I mean, this literally just in to me. It's apparently a rampant problem. Here's a
okay, male doctor
press release.
This is
the headline.
Okay, the headline is Bost introduces bill to improve accountability for post office closures. So we're right on the money here.
We need to be. Is this real?
That's incredible. Is he listening?
I don't know. He's acting.
That's good. I'm glad that he's doing that.
He said, write me a law.
Congressman Mike Bost today introduced the upending secret postal shutdowns Act, the USPS, to prohibit the U.S. Postal Service from shutting down a post office under the guise of an emergency suspension without notifying impacted communities and providing a full justification for the course. So this is we're right over the target.
We should have him on tomorrow. Talk about this and then right afterwards. We'll play that.
1 out of 1 interviewed congressmen agree. Recommend. We need to interview like one other, so it can be 1 out of 2 or something like that. This sounds more legit. We've added 3 subscribers since then, so keep them coming.
Okay.
The YouTube live chat poll for today is: would you vote for a woman for president? Yes or no? Ryan, your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you vote for a woman for president. It's always just about who your values align with most, and you're never going to get 100% of what you want out of any candidate. That's why you have a primary process, but you always end up with
or
2.
Not.
What's that? Oh, thank you very much.
That's how you get a woman.
Thank you. That's how you get a woman running for president. I kind of backed into that. It wasn't on purpose, but here we are. So, yeah, I would vote for a woman for president as long as she was the better of the candidates.
Brian said, I do prefer a man to be the leader of the United States, but I would vote for the right woman. Needless to say, Kamala is not the right woman. Is it wrong for Brian to say that he would prefer a man?
It's not wrong.
I'm going to say, yeah, it is. I think that it should be the person that is most qualified. So that, on the other side, then means it's wrong to say I would just vote for somebody because I would prefer to have a woman in there.
Like gender should never be the
gender,
leading
it shouldn't even be a preference.
It seems like what he's saying, though, is in a primary process where I like 2 candidates the same, I would pick the man over the woman.
Got nothing better.
If they were the same, all things being equal. I don't know. I'm putting words in his mouth a little bit, but...
Steve said, I'd vote for a woman, but not Kamala Harris. James said, I voted yes, but that would be predicated on her positions and dedication to our safety, our financial security, and our ability to stand as a country that others look up to and fear when necessary. And Lisa said, I would vote for a woman, but she has to be the right woman. I won't just vote just because she is a woman. Isn't that the whole point? I think, Lisa, you nailed it there. Spot on. Thank you to everybody who voted today. I'm kind of blown away. We have 444 votes right now, which is much higher than we traditionally do at this point in the show. Of those 444 votes, 74% of you said yes. 26% said no, you wouldn't vote for a woman. And I welcome all of our new subscribers to the Andy Fry Show YouTube channel. I think that's a pretty dominating poll. Thank you for being with us today. The Mark Reardon Show is going to come up here next. Reminder, put it on your calendars. Next Wednesday at the West Clay Street, St. Charles, Ruler Foods. We will be broadcasting live out there, and we need you to come arms full of diapers to support Princess Storm's Diaper Drive. Mark Reardon Show, next. Don't go away.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Why do the national tax resolution firms need the tiny fine print at the bottom of all their TV ads? Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. You don't hear fast-talking disclaimers in our ads because the claims we make are 100% transparent. The Lance Drury Law Firm primarily focuses on one thing, IRS problems, and we're regulated by the Bar Association, and we have a AAA rating with the Better Business Bureau. IRS issues are serious legal